Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Nextlander podcast. Hoo boy! This is the last one for April, Alex Navarro.
Yeah, it is.
Last one for April. May the games be with you, and also with you.
No, I'm going to say you didn't pull that one off.
May the games be forced on you, Brad?
No.
Nope.
Forced?
Nope.
May is a great month.
I'm just denying everything you're going to try from here on out.
My birthday's in May.
I deny corporate franchise holidays.
Okay, all right.
We just passed Alien Day.
Then we have nothing. Then we have nothing anymore. What as a culture?
Yeah.
What as a culture do we even have?
Like Alien Day was last week.
Was it really?
Mario Day was...
Wait, like Alien the movie?
The month before that, yep.
Oh, man. Wow. How did I miss that one? Nobody gave me a card.
April 26th.
Oh, wow. Bummer.
Okay, look, I'm not trying to hand it to the Iranian government here. I'm not. But there was a comment they made some years ago about the fact that there were no symbols in America they could effectively attack because who are they going to attack? SpongeBob?
Wow.
And you know what? No country has ever read us more to filth than I think that particular comment.
You really got us dead to rights on that one.
I mean, and also, don't you fucking touch SpongeBob.
Yeah,
okay?
No, SpongeBob is blameless, all right? Go after Mr. Krabs if you got to go after anyone. Squidward.
Well, it is almost May, which is, in some ways, I feel sometimes elated because I think May is a fantastic month. A lot of fun stuff in May, like birthdays. And Mother's Day. But then it also means the summer is coming, and summer is my least favorite month, especially here on the East Coast.
Your least favorite season. If the summer was only a month, it wouldn't be that bad.
That'd be so good if
I would pray for that.
Yes.
Instead, we're getting more summer instead of less.
And like we're the slow march towards August, the dreaded August is rough.
You guys have a drought out there?
In Jersey? No, I think we're okay.
Last year was kind of droughty, but it like there were definitely some stretches where we got no rain. This spring has been very rain heavy.
Huh.
We have there's wildfire warnings, I think, out here, which means it's probably a little dry in some places.
Like apparently a large swath of the country has been in drought conditions for a while now.
I don't want to undermine what's going on drought-wise, but I do feel like it gets in Jersey here. Sometimes it feels like 1 week they'll be like reservoirs are low, and then the next week they'll be like we've had record rain and the reservoirs are very full. And I understand droughts don't work on the amount of rain you necessarily get in a single rainstorm. And don't yell at me.
Droughts are going to do what droughts are going to do.
Here's the other thing that I keep forgetting, that the closer we get to August and summer, the closer we get to election season again.
Oh, good.
And boy,
I thought I was going to have the controversial political bit here at the top.
It's just factual. It's just factual. And boy, howdy, I feel like this one coming up. I know they don't. Every election feels like the one, but this one just feels so coiled up like a spring, like so pregnant with just anticipation, like in all regards, any way you look at it, right? Like from any angle, you're just like, I don't know.
And some very specific angles in particular. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. There won't be any more after this, so you'll be
finally
nothing else to worry about from here on out.
Well, here's the thing. It's not that I'm going to call the next midterms not vitally important for a lot of reasons. They absolutely are. But I do feel like basically the refrain from every election since like maybe the year 2000 has been, this is the most important election of your lifetime.
I'll go probably mid like 20, maybe 2012.
It got really pitched
just
after the second Obama turn.
Really just 2016 on.
Yeah. And it really is one of those things. I'm going to agree with you, Alex, is like you play that card too many times and you kind of wear people out a little bit. But I also don't disagree.
These particular midterms do have some weight behind them. Yes.
I also don't disagree. And shout out to our friends abroad for loaning us their monarch for a little bit.
Yeah. We needed that guy to come in here and remind us what a constitutional government is supposed to be, I guess. I don't
weirdly takes a monarch to do that, but
look, If we sat here and pointed out every single irony that has befallen us over the last several years, we would never be done with this fucking podcast. But seeing the King of England come in and talk about all the ways in which constitutional democracy is important really kind of just wraps the whole country back around, doesn't it?
Yeah, the King of England was once the bad guy.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he isn't.
A long time ago.
It's just a different thing now.
What a weird world we live in. I was kind of waiting, and like I don't really watch too much of the King and Trump palling around.
No, you shouldn't.
But I was waiting for a report that at some point maybe the king would turn around and be like, "Boy, you really do have a lot of gold shit." In here, huh? Like, it's really kind of tacky for a would-be king. Maybe you could just tone it down a little bit. The population really doesn't like when you just put all the gold shit. You're spray painting your reflecting pool, huh? Okay, cool. Yeah. That's good. You could still do that. That's early monarchy shit. Get that stuff out of your system. That goes away after a while. At first, I don't know if people saw, like, there was a lot of weird stuff happening.
Non-stop.
A lot of weird stuff. Just nonstop. One of the less weirder things is they drain the reflecting pool and they're, like, spraying it like a blue, right? The bottom is like a blue.
Like it's a fucking swimming pool?
Like it's a swimming pool in, like, Long Island. Like a big round swimming pool in your backyard in Long Island. But when I heard...
Tasteful.
When I first heard it, because I was doing something I heard on the radio, I thought they were spray painting the Lincoln Memorial blue. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then
it could still happen.
And then I was like, oh no, the reflecting pool got it.
I had an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. Over New Year's 23 to 24, I think it was.
Okay.
And went to several museums and did and numerous memorials and just kind of the whole shebang. And I'm glad I did when I could.
Well, you don't want a gilded Lincoln Memorial, nice blue reflecting pool.
Like I had family was there, so it was just a good excuse to go anyway to see the family who happened to be there at the time. But also, it was not a consideration,
right?
That I don't know how long all this stuff's going to be around in the present form. It might be a good time.
Look, I have a very little opinion on whether it'll look better with a coating of blue on the bottom of the reflecting pool or not. Not really my place. My place is a little more of like, do we have a couple of other things going on? Maybe we want to focus on and spend more money on that. That would be my taxpayer assessment.
He's steadfastly dedicated to not doing the bread and circuses part of the whole distracting the populace thing. So he's mostly just in obsessed with his own little personal pet projects. It was more the part where he compared pictures of the reflecting pool and then said, this is what it looked like under Hussein Obama before that made me just go, you know what? I can't look at this anymore. I just can't do it.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. All right. Wow.
Leave the fucking Cocoa Puffs bird out of this. He has done nothing.
He and SpongeBob.
Speaking of franchise mascots who do deserve a holiday.
That's right. Well, sorry, just a little venting there. It's been a week, right?
It's always a week now.
We've got some games to get to here. April has been a month of releases. Quite a number of things have come out. We'll talk about some of the other things we've played, but we do want to get to a game that is coming out this week. Brad, you say the name of it because I feel like I always have to follow your pronunciation of it. Saros?
Saros is what
George Saros.
Saros is what popped into my mind when I read it.
Okay.
I'm sure that they've said it on video many times.
I'm sure.
I should know at this point.
Saros.
Yeah. But also that was a game that as soon as they announced it, I was like, oh, I'm going to play that. So I kind of didn't. I just went out of my way not to consume a bunch of their pre-release material about it because I liked Returnal, and this is like that. So I knew I was going to play it.
This is Housemarque's latest jam. It is coming out this week. April 30th is the official release date. I don't know if it has an early get in there early. It might.
I want to say it does, but
I want to say it does
me
too.
On that.
It is very much in the time I have spent with it. It has Returnal DNA. It is
very much so.
It is very much aligned with Returnal.
Oh,
and in the interest, yes.
I'm sorry, just to interject, just because you mentioned it. It does have 48 hours early access for only an additional $10.
Okay.
That is way cheaper than the typical Microsoft surcharge.
Is it?
A lot, yes.
Okay.
That was
does
like,
it come with anything else?
yeah, it's the deluxe edition, so it's got like 3 extra armors and okay, it might be 3 extra armors.
Okay.
And 48 hours early access. So anyway.
So in the interest of not just describing a game by another game, the Housemarque current style and the Returnal style is basically a third-person bullet hell, where it's very actiony, but also Saros has a very upfront, opaque, I would even say, systems-heavy way of masking what in the end wind up being very video game concepts. It's
all very legible once you do a few runs.
Yeah, so the setup here is, and I'll just use the word again, opaque on purpose, I think. You kind of awaken, you're on this planet, what is the name of the planet? I actually like the name of the planet.
Carcosa.
Carcosa, yes.
Oh, so they're just doing fucking...
The Yellow King, yes.
Yeah, they're just straight up doing True Detective Season 1. Okay, got it.
You work for a corporation is trying to extract whatever valuable resources on there, but they've lost communication with all of the survey teams, the settlement teams, all the various other preceding 3 expeditions that have gone there. You're basically the elite squad to see what the hell is going on there, right? They're like a much smaller squad that is set up to go find out, and you kind of start the game with, what'd you call it, like an amnesia-like state where you're just, what has happened? I just awoke from some dream-like state, and people are like, where have you been, dude? It's been like a couple of days, and you've been missing in action.
The game begins in medias res.
Yes.
But that game has no title screen. Like, it's not just the first time you boot it up, it throws you into the middle of a run. And you die pretty quickly because I don't think it's possible to beat the boss at the end of the tutorial prologue level, although
some speedrunner will figure it out eventually.
Somebody will probably figure that out, but I don't know what happens.
Die anyway.
They probably just kill you anyway because you're intended to die and to immediately introduce the roguelike, time run repeating mechanic. But even, have you quit out of the game and then started it back up, or have you just, okay. It never has a title screen, like ever. I don't remember if Returnal was that way or not. But I
feel like it did.
Even if you quit out of the game, relaunch it, it just loads you straight back into the hub, running around, no interstitial.
Interesting. So
you never, there's never anything like an introduction. Which weirdly, now that you're talking about it and like looking back on it, is kind of weirdly disorienting.
It is disorienting.
It is an introduction, to be clear. It's just like, again, like you said, events are extremely already in motion when they start you, and you never really feel like you get like a proper sort of intro movie as such.
But they do have a ton of stuff to read. So they kind of, in your codex, do lay out very explicitly what the corporation is that sent you here, what the prior expeditions were that came here. And you do get a little bit, I think, in the beginning of like, this is the 4th mission to Carcosa.
Yeah.
But every gun you pick up has 3 paragraphs on it. Every power. So, okay, so I'm going to kind of run down how this gameplay plays out, because initially it sounds a little obtuse, but really you strip all the nomenclature off and it kind of makes sense. So you set out there, and as you're running around, you collect little doodads which increase your drive.
Lucenite.
Lucenite.
Yes, so you collect Lucenite to raise your proficiency, and the higher your proficiency level, the better the drops you will get.
Yes.
Your drive, it determines how much Lucenite drops.
Yeah, and how efficient it is at increasing your proficiency.
Yeah, power, what is it? It's resilience.
Command is power.
Command, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Command is the stat. Power is the effect that scales to the stat.
That's right. So power is how much damage your
is it all weapons, or is it just the heavy weapon?
I think it's the power weapon and then your shields, basically. Right. How much juice you have on the shield. It's like a bar.
It's all very Returnal. It's a lot of leapfrogging mechanics. It's like you have a shield that you can hold. You can hold melee to activate a shield, and the shield can absorb blue bullets.
Yeah,
and that
initially,
and that adds to your power to let you use your power weapon more. Yes. But the shield depletes. Doesn't the shield deplete over time if you don't keep absorbing with it?
That's right. Yeah, and also if you do. So there is just a timer, I think, on the shield.
I thought you could keep the shield going if you kept absorbing blue stuff with it. Maybe not.
To absorb, you have to release it.
Oh, okay.
It all gathers on the outside of the shield, and then you release it and it absorbs.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood that. Maybe you can't just keep the shield
there's a lot
going.
out of the gate here.
Can the shield block the yellow bullets or not? I'm not entirely sure.
So this might be a me thing. There is some color. There is, obviously, as we're getting to some color-based stuff in here. The bullets are either blue. Those can definitely be absorbed. There are yellow bullets. I think they can be absorb but do more damage to your shields.
Okay. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe,
or they can be blocked but maybe not absorbed.
Okay.
And then beams really shred your shield.
Yeah, that's why I was confused, because I felt like I had run through some yellow bullets with the shield and still taken damage at some point, but maybe they just broke the shield right at the end.
They might have broken it. And then there's corrupted bullets as well, which I think that's a whole other thing. But that's not the yellow bullets, right? You're talking about
I don't think so. No.
So this is where I might
maybe they are.
Into some trouble with the color stuff. I don't know if they're red or green or yellow. I know the blue ones.
Did you mess with the color blind stuff? Because there's a lot, and I think you can basically just customize the color of all the projectiles and stuff.
So when I first started playing this game, I don't know how I did it, but I went into the menus. Usually I'll go into the menus, and I went into this game, and I was like, holy cow, it just scrolls forever. Like all the options you can customize. I'm just going to leave them. I somehow turned the HUD off.
Great.
So my initial time with that game, I had the entire HUD off.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, they're really not telling you how to do anything in this game, to interact.
Yeah, that seems almost unplayable.
Well, I think you could do it once you realize.
Once you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but I was like, I'll just push you push triangle to interact with something. Interesting. Because all that stuff was turned off. Anyway, turn it back on. So, command determines how much maximum energy / power you can get. And then there's your armor, which you have another tied trait to, which is resilience, right? And that's resilience determines your maximum integrity, which is the armor.
Right, and if you pick up health when you already have full health, it turns into leucinite, which gets you more proficiency. It's a whole leapfrogging system of stats and pickups and power-ups and loot.
So all that being said, basically in its run-based mechanic, you can start with some proficiency, let's say, but you basically, for the intents of talking about the mechanics of this game, those all start back at 0, and you go back out into the world, and proficiency is a big one, because as you go out, you're going to find weapon drops, and it's going to be like, this is a level 2 gun, because you're a level 1 or 2 proficiency. Sometimes you might get, I don't know what the range is, you might get a little higher than your proficiency or not. And then as you kill things, there's also another stat I'll get to in a second. As you kill things, your proficiency goes up, and you get more leucinite, and you're getting level 9 guns, and you're getting level 9 super weapons, and that's making you stronger, and the rate of fire goes up, and all this other stuff. There's also what's it called at the bottom? It's like overdrive or without dying, adrenaline, which if you kill things, defeat enemies without taking damage, your adrenaline goes up, which also unlocks other buffs as you're playing the game.
Yep.
So there's out of the gate, it feels like there's a lot of mechanics. I feel like by the time you're on your second or third run, you're like, I kind of get it.
Yeah, it is a lot to take in at first, but yes, by the time I think I beat the first boss on my third run, and by the time I got there, I felt like I was like feeling pretty good. Well, for the most part, but they also dangle quite a bit in front of you that you just can't do initially. Which, I mean, it's a roguelike. Of course, they need things for you to unlock, but like, there's all these high platforms all over the place where you can see items you can't get to, and there's what are very obvious jump pads.
And those little look like grapple points.
There are both jump pads and grapple points all over the place, leading to items you can't get that you're obviously going to get abilities to get to later.
Some wavy colored doors that feel like you can't bust through.
There are both treasure chests and gates that need keys to unlock, and the keys are very scarce, so you end up having to just bypass most of those good locked pickups until on the skill tree later on, there are ways to like start with a key, and I assume they'll increase the key drop rate and stuff like that.
And then there's and then as you go out, there's another mechanic here. Like I said, they kind of drop a lot on you, because most of those things are just open out of the gate, and they are tutorializing you. But you wind up finding these little pillars or altars, basically, that you can smash open, and there are different rarities of those, and those will give you artifacts or different boosts that'll be like, hey, increase your drive, which is your tendency to get more leucinite, or increase your command. And you do all this, and you're getting artifacts, and you have a limited number of artifact slots, and you're filling those up, and you're trying to get better weapons, and some of them will give you a choice between get a currency or get an artifact, or get, you can choose between one or the other, and you're swapping stuff out, and you're going, and you're going, and you're going, and you're going, and then suddenly you hit a part where it's like, okay, now you make the eclipse happen. Mm-hmm. And then basically the eclipse, it feels like where I'm at, I have not beat the first boss yet. I got up to the third phase, and that really threw me for a loop initially, and I died. But you do this eclipse portion, and it makes the world harder. And now all of the artifacts have a negative effect associated with them too. Now, some of those things are like, hey, your dash is going to be on a longer cooldown. And I'm like, no, I need that.
Or like lose Lucenite when you take damage.
No.
Or start taking fall damage because you don't by default.
No.
I don't think you can say no.
There's only one.
You totally
yeah,
can. You just not pick them up.
No, there's only one I keep getting that I'm like, yes. And it's,
okay.
Well, you do reduce damage when you stand still in fire. I'm like, dude, who's standing still in fire?
I haven't seen that one. So yeah, we shouldn't bury the lead here. If you didn't play Returnal, this game is very much like that in that like there's an incredibly generous auto aim.
Yeah.
Because this game is not about precision, it's about positioning and evasion and
it's kind of one of those blur your eyes and look at the whole screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're dodging through, you're weaving through using the shield on, like dodging around hell of bullets. Like it is nonstop blue and red and yellow attacks coming at you. And you're just kind of vaguely painting your target at the enemies while you're trying to dodge that shit constantly. So
the idea that you would stand still and shoot was like, I'll take that one all day.
Yeah.
It's
kind of, it feels a little quaint at this. Yes, it's PS5 exclusive, but it still feels a little quaint in 2026 to still be wrapping core mechanics in the resistive triggers.
I was going to bring that up.
Someone's got to do it. No one's doing it.
It's been so like it almost feels like it's the PS5 launch again, playing a game. I mean, I'm sure there's been a few others recently-ish, but this game, you've only got two weapons. You've got your sidearm, you've got like a pistol or a rifle or whatever it is you're using at the time, and then you've got like the alien weapon that's on your shoulder, which is your kind of heavy rocket launcher type thing.
It's like your power weapon,
right? So you can shoot normally with the right trigger and do the main firing mode for your regular human gun. If you pull
just
the
by
left
pushing right trigger,
so if you pull the left trigger halfway till it resists, then you get the alt fire on that main human gun. Mm-hmm. If you then push through the resistance and pull the left trigger all the way, now you're using your power weapon.
Yeah,
like
I'm sure I'll get used to it. The game.
Yeah, it is. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but there have been several times when I'm just like sweating it out in a really hard fight.
Yeah.
And I accidentally just don't think and pull that left trigger all the way and waste my one power shot on something I don't want to use it on. Like I'll get used to it better over time, but it's kind of I don't know. It feels a little bit like a throwback at this point.
I almost have the opposite reaction to it, which is I don't want to have to push that hard to get to that. I need it quickly. I need to get to that. And it's not that hard to push through.
Yeah, and you can. I mean, the PS5 system settings has a strength force setting. I think I've got mine on. I think it was shown that setting, like for games that use it a lot, that setting hits battery life on that controller pretty hard.
Oh,
so I had turned mine down anyway, so that's not a huge deal, but it's more like I'm just not thinking. I'm too busy thinking about the 5 other things I need to do to stay alive at the time.
So it is a little bit of a juggling match between, again, your shields. You can dodge a lot of attacks, but you sometimes just want to use your shield because that's how you recharge your power weapon. So you will be popping your shield, which takes, in what I think, because I'm still trying to get my head around it, a little too long to flick up.
Yeah, yes. But I have not dialed in the timing on that shield. But that is what you're talking about, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like it feels like a lot of the blue attacks that get thrown at you, I mean, they're all telegraphed, but it feels like you've got less time between, hey, a blue attack is about to come out than it takes to get the shield up. Like, because you have to do the full melee attack animation and keep holding the button, and then the shield comes up.
Yep.
And I have had a hard time, although it almost has felt like I've melee countered, or maybe the melee counts as shield, even though the full like shield animation hasn't completed yet, because it's felt like I have like swung the melee into the blue projectiles,
and it's been okay, right?
And I didn't take damage, so maybe as soon as you start hitting that button, it counts as shield. I don't know.
I noticed that on the boss, so I don't know if I haven't noticed it. There's one enemy in the game early on that leaves a trail of the blue dots, and you could just put the shield on and run through that whole trail and scoop them all up and get your power back. I think part of the learning curve in that game is learning when to dodge, when to shield, and how often to be using that power attack, because it's pretty intense, the initial one they give you. So yeah, you're juggling all of those things and trying to basically just shoot when you can, and you can't shoot with the shield up. You have to take the shield down to shoot. It's pretty hectic.
It's a lot.
It's definitely a lot. And then you have an upgrade tree that you take 50% when you start the game. You take 50% of your earnings back to camp if you die. And
yeah,
then,
when you die. So when I beat that boss, I took 100% of what I had.
Okay.
And then after you beat the boss, you unlock the ability to teleport back. Those teleport pads become active that you see all over the place.
Nice.
So then you can start aborting runs early after that if you want.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
You can just, once you see one of those pads, if you're like, I'm half dead, I'm not feeling good about this, you can just port back and keep everything you've got.
Oh, that's
to
cool.
upgrade with.
Yeah, and the upgrades in the upgrade tree seem very meaningful.
They're huge, yeah, because I mean it's just a game about being hard and punishing, and then reducing some of the friction through all the upgrades, as you know, like in as simple a way as you can keep more of the Lucenite when you die.
Yeah.
Or
start with more proficiency.
Start at a higher proficiency level, so you just start getting better drops immediately. I think I start at like proficiency 5 now or something.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Or start with more like these other stats, command, resilience, whatever it is.
Yeah, and then like I said, there's one way up the tree to like start with a key every time, and it's going to be that.
There's one I didn't get yet, which I'm working towards, which is being able to absorb the corrupted bullets as well. Because again, when you go to this eclipse, everything gets slightly more aggressive, and they shoot different bullets at you, and all of your artifacts have a corrupted side effect on them, which I think they say in the tutorial goes away, cleanse if you beat the boss.
I think that's right. Well, but also when you beat the boss, they just send you back to at least for the second area. They don't let you go into the second area when you beat the first boss. They just make you port back and start a new run.
Can you fight the boss again if you want?
I don't know. I assume it would be there. I don't know if you fight the boss again, because you can go back to that first area and farm if you want.
So
after you beat it, but
the setup again is you're trying to figure out what happened on this. I would say this game has a tone to me. It is hella
Lovecraft. It is extreme. It is extreme space eldritch horror,
space madness,
cosmic horror.
It's cosmic horror. To the extent that I did not get the Carcosa reference, or I had not heard that term in a way that fired any memories. Carcosa is the creation of author Ambrose Bierce.
Mm-hmm.
There full on is a crew member named Bierce in this game.
Yeah, there really is.
That's how hard and how direct they are targeting these references.
Some of the other crew has gone mad.
It is. They're extremely doing like an Event Horizon Sunshine kind of space madness sort of thing. The setting also feels like kind of like very like Alien Covenant to me.
Yeah,
like crew stranded on a world full of like gothic horror space monster type shit. But I don't know, the writing and some of it's not the acting so much as the writing, I feel like, and the way the character interactions are presented. Like the only real character interactions you get are just talking to NPCs in your hub, and like those interactions just feel off in a way. Not every time, but like in some cases it just feels like two actors in different VO booths recording lines that were stitched together in a way that doesn't feel like people actually talking to each other very naturally.
Yeah, you pick up some logs, and you also get this you get radio chatter once in a while.
Yeah, but some of the logs, but also like all the crew members that are losing their minds are just obsessed with the eclipse. Like they just keep talking about the sun and the eclipse, and they just keep going on and on about it in a way that feels pretty trite.
Yeah, the other kind of well-worn path is like, I just talked to Pierce the other day, but Pierce is dead.
Oh, that's Bierce actually.
Oh, was it Bierce?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like,
but yes, you just said Bierce was dead. He's like, like yes. I mean, we'll see where it goes. I'm not super sold on the way the storytelling is doing stuff. Right, with the one exception, which is that you get corrupted once you're past the eclipse in a run. The more corrupted bullets you get hit by, the more corrupted you like. The corruption starts spreading on your health meter. It like lowers your total health. And your suit starts like sprouting shit.
It's bad.
Like tentacles start coming out of like sensors on your suit and stuff the more corrupted you get, and like that's been the best representation of the weird cosmic horror space madness shit so far. I mean,
the thing is, I'll be curious to see if this goes anywhere, swerves at all, but it is corporation really wants whatever's on this planet.
Yeah.
And this planet is clearly bad. It is
extreme mashup of Wayland Yutani and Event Horizon type stuff.
We should just not be on this planet. And whatever, I'll be curious to see if there winds up being a bigger agenda here, or if it is just, hey, we want to mine whatever's on the hell energy. Whatever it is.
I do feel like a little bit of that vibe and that attempt is somewhat undermined by this being kind of a bullet hell game. Like it's very hard to really associate like genuine cosmic horror and the kinds of things that you were talking about with
what, 1,000 blue orbs are
when
coming
there's just
at you?
1,000 fucking like, goddamn Gradius orbs flying everywhere. Like, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying I'm not sure this game has the chops for it.
Maybe it'll get better. I don't know.
It didn't bother me in the way that like Returnal also kind of didn't bother me. That's the solitude and quiet, and then it's like, oh my god, there's like a billion beams and orbs coming at me.
But that's the difference. There is there weren't other characters to talk to. That game was much more
solitary.
I think maybe that worked better for me.
Yeah, I didn't finish Returnal. It kind of makes me want to go back and play more of that.
See, I didn't like Returnal much at all, but I still think it worked better than maybe what they are trying, at least in the initial impressions, what they are trying here.
I remember being more impressed with Returnal at the time, but maybe that's because it was so novel for Housemarque to bring the thing they do into like a high budget.
Right. It's a first attempt at something they haven't tried before.
Like their thing in third person was pretty novel, and now this is kind of just more of that.
I think this game, it feels more open. One of the wild things in this game is when you start, I was shocked. You move. The initial speed of your character
you're
felt
very like you feel like you're sprinting all the time. Like you feel there. In fact, there is no sprint in this game. Like the default and only run speed is just that of a very fast wasn't Returnal pretty similar though? I don't remember.
Returnal felt at least. In my memory, again, I haven't played Returnal in a while. You may have moved very quickly, but the areas I remember feeling more enclosed, until you got to big pockets of areas.
Yeah, I will say both the movement speed and the look speed on the stick both feel very loose in a very pleasing way. Like I haven't touched anything about the controls, and it feels great. I do wish it had a high frame rate mode on PS5 Pro, but it does not. Also, I'm hardly the first person to make this observation, but Capcom is equally culpable in this, but having shipped to the two major third-person shooters of the month 2 weeks apart with dashes on opposite shoulder buttons.
You're saying Pragmata in this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my brain is having trouble.
You dash on R1 in Pragmata and L1 in this game, and it's kind of fucked me a few times.
More than a few times for me as well.
Yeah,
but you pop the shield, and again, like we said, that shield takes a second, and it means you're standing still when you meant to dash.
Everything else aside, the time when I beat that boss was like easily probably top 5 at least in my life, heart pounding while playing a video game moments. Like it took me like 5 minutes after I turned that thing off for my heart to be able to like breathe normally and my hands weren't shaking anymore.
Did you wind up getting to that last phase and beating it on the same?
Yes. So that was what happened. Cool. Is so I got to that boss and I had like no health the first time I got to that boss and like lasted 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of hard to tell that you have to shoot the little things to the sides, but this boss is just a giant like plant monster boss with a bunch of little. The first phase is a bunch of little plants that spawn to the side, and you have to kill all those to make it vulnerable. And I just kind of couldn't see through the hell of bullets that. And the point being, I had like no experience with that boss at all, and then I got to it the second time with full health. Have you been to it multiple times?
I did it twice.
Because you probably saw like they do the nice thing of after you
3 health bars.
Well, no, actually, so you have to get like a key to open the boss door the first time you get to it. They let you skip that whole phase of the run from thereafter.
Yeah, so you need to do the run back to it though.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, but it still shaves probably a third of the time off your run.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So you can just go straight into the boss, but you can still opt to go to that last leg of the level and get extra pickups if you want. Anyway, point being, I had full health when I got there the second time, so I like poked into the final area a little bit to get a couple drops, but then I was like, you know what, I've got full health. I'm just going to go fight that thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that first phase was the only phase.
Yeah.
And I got through it and I was like, sweet.
They do show 3 health bars.
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like
there's a lot on the screen.
Yeah, no, that you
going
never
on.
notice, right? Yeah.
So I beat that first phase and it ended, and I was like, fucking sweet. And then the second phase starts. I was like, well, shit. And so I kept going, and I was basically fine. Actually, what fucked me really is that they start dropping health.
Yes.
And I actually took more damage trying to get in there and get the health that dropped than I.
Sure.
Anyway,
it's really that third phase though that changes it up quite a bit.
I thought for sure, I was like, all right, either this thing has another full phase or I'm just gonna eat it and do another run after this. And I beat that second phase while the screen was red. I was like a hit or two from dead, and the screen had raspberry jam on it. And yes, you've seen what happens on the third phase. It's like they basically do this like Hail Mary, like glory third phase where like the walls come in and box you into this very narrow hallway, and then it starts throwing
hell, and
it throws all of its attacks at you nonstop. And like I had to get through that entire phase without getting hit.
Dang.
And like was just dashing and jumping over shit and trying to this game also has an active reload, by the way. And like somehow like, what's the penalty for failure? You have to do the run again. I mean, it's about a full run of that first area is like half an hour. Like, it's not nothing. But once you unlock that shortcut to the boss, it's not the end of the world. But also, this was right before this podcast. Like, I was like, I'd really like to see what happens when you beat a boss in this game before the podcast. And so it was like the pressure was on and getting through that whole third phase and just barely making it. Like, I thought I was going to drop the controller by the end of that. Like,
it's intense.
It felt real fucking good to beat that boss at the end.
And, you know, again, like Returnal, you have a lot of mobility here. But when you're boxed in, a lot of that mobility feels compromised in a way that you're dashing forward to get through stuff.
Yeah, and I get that very constrained last phase gets weird because like it's shoot. Okay, they're the yellow bullets that you have to dash through or jump over. Like you can't, or again,
it might be. I never even risk it.
Unclear, but I was so paranoid at that point. But the point is, it starts throwing those at you at a slightly faster interval than your dash recharges. So then you have to start getting real creative about which ones you jump over, which ones you dash through, which ones you try to
45-degree angles.
Right, and they're on weird angles, but you have to start like backpedaling a little bit to try to make sure your dash has recharged. Like it throws your rhythm off just enough that it gets really wild.
And that stage, I think, also has like some weird vines or something in the back of the stage that slow down if you hang out too far away. It's a pain in the butt. It's over. I would say the first time I got on there, I was like, what the heck? The second time I went after it, it's also a pattern game. And you can kind of start, just kind of be like, okay, I've got the second phase. The second time I did it, it was like, this isn't that bad. The pattern is, I can read the pattern. You can dash out of the way. But then when I got to that third phase on that run, I was like, I'm not ready for this. And I just basically did my shoot at the sky and
just threw the hands up.
Yep.
Yeah. It was, it was just, I tried for like a hot second and was like, I just wanted to die. I'm trying to power up my super shot and, collect the bullet, the whole thing.
Yeah. I may have turned the corner on the game. Like I said, I was not super duper impressed with it up to that point, but that was so exhilarating that I might be way into this now. I'm not sure.
So my thing with Returnal, their Housemarque's other game like this, is that I reached a point where I think it got to more hard than rewarding for me.
Yeah.
Where I was like, man, I was like, this feels. I was having a lot of fun up until this part, and now I feel like that part you just were describing, the feeling of accomplishment, it's like more frustrating. I don't know if I can push through the frustration to get there again. I got pretty far. There was floating laser eye guys that really were just messing me up. And I'm hoping this game, the difficulty spike in it maybe doesn't come as soon, or that I feel like there's a better way to overcome it. That having a tech tree there, I think, is going to help, because then you grind out resources and I don't think Returnal had a tree.
I can't, it's been 5 years since that game came out? I can't quite remember.
Yeah. I don't remember what the
6
exactly
years,
the
actually.
No, it was early 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what the path was. Do you think they'll patch in, now that I have a TV that can support it, some kind of variable refresh rate? Or?
No, I highly doubt it. I think what we got is what we got.
I like it so far, though. I enjoy it. I feel like the loop feels familiar, but they give you the tools, at least for me, give me the tools so far to accomplish what they're asking.
Yeah, like several of the reviews have described it as easier than Returnal, and I think some of that may come down to some of the mechanics they introduce over time.
Okay.
Is the sense I got. Like, it sounds like there are some things it does differently with the game, but one of the, I think it was Steven Totillo I saw posting about this, said like that doesn't reveal itself until like a good ways into the game. But it sounds like it is maybe more approachable as you get into the late game than Returnal was.
Okay. Like there are times, like you just said, I'd like to return to Returnal, but then I think about, man, that game can be real punishing at the end.
Yep.
All right. That is PlayStation 5's Saros, $70. It is out on the 30th, which by the time you hear this, maybe that day, maybe today. Or people are playing it now.
Wait. Huh. Okay. This game's out on the 5-year anniversary of Returnal.
Huh.
Oh,
Returnal came out April 30th, 2021. So,
well, there you go.
I don't know if they made that date on purpose, but there you go.
Surely can't be coincidence.
Well, only another 5 years till the next one.
Hey, good on them for shipping 2 games in one console generation. Not every studio does that these days.
No. What is slightly off topic, but what is Housemarque's relationship with Sony?
They're owned by now.
Mm-hmm.
They are completely in house.
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't always though.
No, that happened right before or after Returnal?
It was somewhere during the course of Returnal development. I don't remember if it was immediately after that game came out or if it was like in the run up to it.
What was their PlayStation downloadable game?
It's right after. Yeah, Sony bought Housemarque right, like the deal closed in June, so a couple months after Returnal came out.
Okay.
Which one?
They're like downloadable one that like.
Well, they made a couple before.
Yeah, they've made a bunch.
They're not Geometry Wars like launched around the system.
Super Stardust HD? Or
well, Stardust and Super Stardust and
I think Super
Stardust.
Stardust.
That you went like around in a circle.
Oh, that's Resogun.
Resogun.
That's more of a side scrolling shooter though.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
That's more like Defender, I guess.
Yeah, that was good. All right. Look for it. No PC release on that, or at least not right now. I mean, again,
or maybe ever if that Jason Schreier report from some weeks ago is to be believed. This one may never come to PC.
Did sorry to put this question out there, but did Returnal get a PC release?
Yes,
it did. Okay. I wonder what they would do to map modifiers. Like, I'm sure you could figure out a way to do it, but with that half trigger pull stuff, there must be some way to do it.
I fully forgot that Housemarque made a game with one of the worst titles in video game history in Matterfall.
Matterfall.
Man, I completely buried that one in my head.
No one really remembers that game, and if you remember it, it's probably because at some point you looked at that title and you said, can we come up with a different naming convention for video games now, please? Can we stop putting fall on everything?
Is this the part where I find out that I reviewed that game?
You may. I don't remember if we reviewed that one or not. I don't feel like that one hit very hard.
I need to know now. The Next Machina is another one they made. That game was rad.
I don't remember.
They made a lot of games. Like they were kind of cranking out downloadable, like cool arcade action games for quite a few years before they went bigger.
Yeah, it was a big shift for them. I remember Returnal being like, "Whoa," but it's still bullet hellish, which I think is I think that's a cool little genre they've kind of carved out for themselves.
Yeah, I just kind of wish they'd go back to the older versions of it.
It's not for you.
It's just not for me. I don't like the AAA house style on top of what they do.
I would not complain if they started making. I mean, I highly doubt they can do both. I'm sure it's one or the other. But I also wouldn't mind if they made a few smaller things, or at least I don't know. Whatever, we'll see where this lands when we're done with it. But I don't know that I would necessarily want a third one of these from them.
Well, we'll see.
After
I like it so far. I'm enjoying it, and if it's a little more accessible towards the end, that would be appreciated by me. Again, that's Saros, $70 out now. You can catch it on the PlayStation 5 if you got one. All right.
That's a game you can get.
That's a game you can get on that PlayStation. We're going to take a quick break. We've got a couple of other games to talk about, so stick around. We'll be right back. All right, we are back and circling around to a game we briefly just mentioned before, Capcom's Pragmata, the action game where you're on a space station, running around hacking robots. Talked about this last week as well. I finished it. I did it.
Ooh.
I did. Well, now I might have some minor spoiler stuff in here, so just a heads up, not too much, maybe more mechanically and what happens mechanically with some of the systems. But Brad, you have not finished it, but it sounds like you're nearing the very last level here.
I've got the option to go to the last level, but I actually unexpectedly was like, I kind of want 100% every level before I go there. I would have finished this game if it hadn't been for Saros, so I wanted to put more time into that, but I actually kind of had to make myself put Pragmata down to play more Saros because I really wanted to see it through. Like I've hit like the big story beat. Like
yeah.
we could talk about that if you want. I mean, that would definitely require.
We can save it for next week.
Yeah, that's fine. I will just say, I mean, people who finished it know what I'm talking about. Like there is an extended story sequence toward the end of that game that like really
sets up the villains.
Yes, like kind of makes all the moving parts of the game clear in a way that like in one case I really didn't see coming. I don't know about you. Like one of those things that is revealed was like, oh shit, okay.
There's one I didn't and one I did. So
I mean, the other one is like that's the thing I guessed before they even start introducing. Well, whatever. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. So excuse me, I don't think you actually. I don't remember that level being super long. Actually,
the story thing.
The final level.
Last. Yeah, I was curious. Like looking at the cabin bingo boards and all that stuff, I was like, I wonder how much there is there to get, actually. Like, am I going to be able to get enough coins to complete every bingo thing?
So here are some of the minor mechanical spoilers. So if you don't want to hear these, you could skip ahead, but these are really not story spoilers. So they do a mechanic later on where you could just turn in, you get more bingo coins than there are spaces, and you could just turn them into the currency. I forget, now I just want to call it the Saros currency, but was it Lumite? Luminite? Luna filaments? Luna
filament.
Yeah.
Luna filament.
Not Lucinite.
You can just, it's actually not a good conversion. Like I was like, man, you're not giving me a lot of it's like 200 or something, or maybe like 500. I'm like, man, these coins are not that easy to get. So when I wound up finishing it, I did the same thing you did. Before I finished it, I wound up going back and I went 100% at everything.
It's fun. I was shocked how much I was enjoying. Like, God bless whoever decided to just give you the ability to mark every collectible around you.
Though.
Well, what do they not?
So they don't. This one is bad. They don't do the bots, the little cabin bots, in a very collectible way.
The training level data guys.
No, those they also don't mark, but the little you have to, the ones that you have to shoot, the little toys, the little collectible figurines.
The cabin figures, yes.
The cabin figures. So they basically don't even tell you how many you've collected on a level unless you've collected another one. Yeah. And it'll be like, you've got 2 of 3. So then when you look at your display there, if you're going back to try and get all of those, and none of the guides I saw, if anybody wants to write a guide that just maps which ones on your display go to which level, that would be
they're definitely, like IGN has one.
They have guides of where they are, but they don't necessarily show you, hey, this little one with the hat, you got that on this level. This is the second one that's here, right?
Yeah.
Luckily, I was missing like 3 from one level, so I just happened to find them all. So that's not super great. The other thing I wish they told you was if you missed any of the, I forget what this upgrade is called, the currency for doing like your gun or Diana's hacking or your health.
The pure... What is it, pure Luna filament or something?
No, that's the one. That's the special one for your weapons upgrades. I mean, the one that you only get like you get for the other side of the upgrades room that does the
orange cubes.
Yeah, the orange cubes. So they don't tell you how many of those are on a level. I assume they're limited on a level, because at some point I wanted to just upgrade my whole tree, right? But I was missing like 7 for the next upgrade. And I did all the challenges already, so I would have to go back and just search the level for them. They do come up in a scan, but they don't tell you on the level if there are more of them. So while I think they do a pretty good job of that, and they do an amazing job, I did all the challenges and I did them all at 100% and got my little king crown, but to get the trophy, you just have to beat the first level of every challenge. You just have to complete the challenge. You don't have to. Yeah, you actually don't have to 100%.
So the perfect doesn't get you anything at all?
I mean, it gets you respect and more stuff. But look, doing that last one on perfect was rewarding. That was the last one is actually pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean the game's fun. Like it's
fun.
And playing the game is its own reward. But it's kind of how I feel about going back and getting all the stuff. Like it's actually just been fun to go back in once I've got. Because there's some stuff you just can't get until you get the final ability, the final Metroid ability that lets you clear the last obstacle. But once you have all that stuff, it's just been pretty enjoyable to go back and play the old levels and just take everything off. And you get a bunch of currency for upgrades while you're doing that. Like I just came back and bought a bunch more upgrades from the money I made killing stuff, getting all the collectibles.
So once you beat the game, you get your ending, and then it opens up another set of challenges that you need to have completed certain milestones in the game to do the 9 challenges or so that are there. And some of them are, did you get every collect? Did you 100% this zone?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So doing that actually gets you ahead of the game if you're going to do those extra challenges.
Now I'm extra glad I'm doing it.
Yeah, and I was actually pretty glad I had done them all initially too, because not only do you get currency to make those challenges easier, you unlock them without having to spend some time futzing around. So those challenges are not timed like the cabin challenges. They're just special little bits and bobs of things, which are cool. Again, I think the game is just mechanically fun to play. I think the story was kind of.
But we'll see. I'll see.
It was all right. I think
that late game sequence I just went through, I thought was handled extremely well for what it was.
Yeah,
better than it should have been for the premise. But
I didn't have any kind of emotional reaction to the end of the game, or feel moved to be like, that was a really well told tale. I was kind of like, okay, that was a serviceable thing to get me to play this fun game. And they do say like, hey, if you want a little more story, you should do this extra bit of thing and then beat the boss again. And I was like, cool, yeah, I'll do that. And the bit at the end there was so short. I mean, you get some extra artwork, which I think actually the artwork during the credits that you get, I think it was new, was fun to see. But if you're doing that expecting to be blown away by more narrative content, it's very small. It's meaningful, but it's very small. Play it because you like playing the game. Do that extra stuff because you like playing the game. And you want the cool upgrades, and then you get the ability to do New Game Plus, and you get the ability to do a new game at the super hard difficulty, Lunacity or whatever it is, which is another trophy if you're trying to get your platinum. But it seems to me you can't do a New Game Plus on that new difficulty. You have to I didn't even do a New Game Plus, which I suspect would bring in some of the upgrades. You can just start a new game, which, again, a little bit of spoiler here, you bring in some things that you unlock by doing the special stuff. So some weapons and stuff you'll have from the beginning of the game, which is useful, I think, because that difficulty does ramp things up. I don't know if I'm going to do it, though. I'm like missing that one trophy-ish. I have actually 2 or 3 that I think I could get pretty easily. But the biggest one is beating it on that really hard difficulty.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I have it in me to do the whole game again without bringing in all of my upgrades.
That is not my favorite final trophy.
No.
We talked about it a few months ago. Like I did that for Miles Morales over the holiday, which that game's not hard. Like even on the New Game Plus. In fact, I think that game does let you do New Game Plus.
With a
to get the trophy for the second playthrough, so that's not even less of a big deal, but still, like, I'm just not likely to immediately want to play through an entire game again, start to finish, just after finishing it.
Yeah, and I do wonder how much faster it would go. This is the problem with not being a New Game Plus. You're still going to want to go seek out all the collectibles because you want the upgrades, right? Because that's the thing. And so sometimes when you do New Game Plus, you're like, I don't have to spend my time hunting down all these collectibles because I already have all the upgrades. And in a new game, I still need to upgrade everything. So I'm going to spend a lot of time getting collectibles. So we'll see. I don't know. Kind of like you said, Brad, I switched gears and taking on another game now. I think I'll put Pragmata aside for now and just be happy with my whatever 95% completion and leave that freaking 1 trophy or 2 trophies aside.
It'll haunt you for a bit, but eventually
I'll
will
get
disperse.
Over it. That's right. It's a good game. I think that is a very solid game with a solid mechanic behind it. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. And we'll see by the end of the year if it makes any lists of mine. But it's a pretty strong one. And contrary to how I usually go in on games, I think the mechanics of the game kept me going even more than the narrative hooks. Usually I'll be like, the narrative is what keeps me going, even if the mechanics are neither here nor there for a lot of people. I think the hacking is pretty cool. It's a fun one.
Yeah.
Pragmata. You think I'll try and wrap it up for next week?
Yeah, definitely.
Titanium Court, Alex Navarro.
Speaking of games that might end up on a list come the end of this year.
Oh.
Not yet ready to declare. The other one I'm going to talk about definitely is probably, I would take something pretty amazing for that one not to get on there. Titanium Court, I'm not 100% there yet with, but I feel like the more I play it, the more I am starting to see the thing people have been effusively praising since the demo started going around for this thing. So I played the demo when it came out on Steam. It is a match 3 game that is also a tower defense game that is also a little bit... I mean, it's a run-based game. I'm not sure it's quite a deck builder, but there are some things that are deck builder-like about it. And it is also a very silly story that is sort of like if Alice in Wonderland, but instead of Wonderland, you ended up in a dinner theater improv troupe.
Okay.
Is how I would describe it.
And how does that manifest?
So the beginning of the game is your character ends up in this court. You don't know where the fuck this is. It's just a castle, icon on a map.
And so a court like a regal
like a king's court. Yeah. So the people in this court are all fairies, and they are all presented more or less like stand-up comedians from the 90s. And they are missing their queen. They are rocketing around in this court in a larger void, like dimensional void. Whenever they go out into the void, they end up doing a lot of battles against other rival courts and other various monsters. And your goal is to try and get to the end of whatever this void is. There is, in fact, apparently an ending. It's not just a game you play forever. And each time you go through a run, it spits you back into a hub area, which is the court. It fills it out in the margins with more character work, more various things you can engage with in the court. But the runs are basically, you pick what your court abilities are. Like, you start getting new ones as the game goes along. So, like, you can have a court that's entire thing is about burning everything down around you instead of just, like, doing regular fights, which is only useful if you want to collect a lot of currency. Like, that, there's no real rhyme or reason to it, but it will destroy everything around you, and it will make you a lot of money in the process. But the more regular battles are, you get these units, and there's 2 phases. You start out at what they call, I believe, one is low tide, one is high tide. I forget which is which. At low tide, you are just playing match 3. You are trying to nail icons on a map that correspond to resources you are gathering for the run. And you can also move the rival courts that are on the map around, and you can move yourself around, and certain terrain on the map actually makes it harder for enemy soldiers to get to you and things like that. It's a little complicated. I've been thinking all week how the fuck I'm going to describe this game to people. So bear with me as I'm trying to get through it all.
I mean, if anybody remembers when you tried to describe the demo, it was quite a tale.
I have a little bit more of a sense of it now, but basically, once you get through that whole phase, and there's a certain amount of time and a meter that ticks down as you're going through and playing your match 3. When you get to the next tide phase and you get into battle, which is more of a tower defense real-time battle, you pick what kind of units you want on the map. Some are just resource gatherers. Some will fight or defend. Others are, like bonus abilities or like things where you're like, hey, I want this one tile to follow me for the rest of the run. That can be like a shop icon or a chest or something that appears. You can also affect the enemy's terrain and stuff. And then once the battle begins, it is straight up like your units will just go to war and they will do what they're going to do. You just wait for the battle to play out, more or less.
Okay.
And then if you succeed, you move on to the next stage of that battle. And at the end, there is like a boss monster that you will end up fighting.
is this narrative with these like weirdos and hucksters and clowns all happening?
And criminals is described as a surreal strategy game for clowns and criminals on the Steam page.
Is this all happening during the match 3 and battling?
Sometimes, yes. Okay. They will interject. There's one lady whose entire job is to tell you what's going on the battlefield and kind of give you strategy tips. There are other doofuses that will just occasionally interject. Mostly you're dealing with them in the in-between stuff when you go back to the hub area, but they will show up during the battle as well.
Okay. Easier to just jump in and play than to describe.
It is, and I think the thing is, any real description of it kind of doesn't serve what is actually going on here, which is to say that it sets a tone right from the jump. The tone is very loosey-goosey. Everything is very loosey-goosey, except for the strategy part, which is actually, you do have to think about a little bit. But the characters seem like they don't really want to explain themselves. They just have a vibe, and you are just kind of catching that vibe throughout. And initially, I kind of felt like, okay, I'm not sure if I'm really catching this all the way. Like, it's funny, but it's not like laugh out loud funny. It's more of like, oh, that's funny kind of stuff. Like, that's goofy, that's silly. But once you kind of get some runs under your belt, and I think once the strategy kind of reveals itself a little bit more and some of the mechanics kind of reveal, like after like 3 hours, I was still getting them introducing new concepts. So there is stuff in this game, and it is not a lightweight strat. I mean, it looks like one, but I feel like they have put some real thought into their match 3 mechanics and how all this stuff works.
I'll have to check this out. This came out like last week, the 23rd. It is $15. I'm interested.
Yeah, I kind of wish they'd put this on. I mean, maybe they will put this on other platforms.
At some point, yeah.
Like, this seems like it could be a good tablet game or even just console. I mean, whatever, it's just a me thing. I don't necessarily want to have to sit at a desk to play this, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think it would work just fine on any console. Like, the mechanics are not so mouse heavy that it wouldn't work well. It's just that I have to imagine this is because I don't think this is, like, AP Thompson is the primary developer on this.
It's like one guy primarily.
With some contributors, yeah.
That is Titanium Court, and that is out now, again, on the PC. Alex, you mentioned a game that could potentially be a contender.
I'm going to say it almost definitely will.
Wow. At least on your list.
On my list,
for one of your favorite games of the year, and I can only assume it is Ultimate Drummer.
In much the way that Titanium Court has a very assured and confident tone and vibe of what it's trying to do, Ultimate Drummer also has an extremely assured and confident vibe in what it's trying to do. It's just that what it's trying to do is madness-inducing, is how I would describe it. Not in gameplay, but just the whole thing, the whole vibe is just so... It's very cool 3D world, the people who made this game, if you know what that is. And for anyone not educated at home, that's a pretty easy thing to look up.
Yeah, they haven't been around as long as I thought. For some reason, when I was looking at their stuff, like the short films they put out, I was like, oh god, are they like early internet? Have they been around for like 30 years? But they started in 2015, so not that old, but still like pretty recognizable style.
Like... The reason I think you make that mistake is because the thing they are doing is using kind of ancient graphical, like 3D graphics tools, and then just making insane art with it.
Like, I think I made that comment while I was watching you play it, is like, it's just a bunch of Bryce 3D ass early CG landscapes in that game, and that's kind of their whole vibe, is like turn of the century, low cost 3D modeling packages kind of stuff.
Like, I would say everything they make is lightly upsetting.
Yeah, sure. Yes, I could agree with that. Also, like, I just can't believe how hard they committed to the bit of making their version of a Dark Souls game.
Yes.
But stupid and incredibly weird.
And to be clear, that is exactly what they are trying to strike here. Like, you are playing this heroic drummer who has to reassemble the band of gods or whatever their universe has decided this thing is. It's basically go hunt the key figures, go get them back, and then, reunite the world or whatever. But the world itself is all done in that incredibly, like, just both rudimentary and nightmarish 3D engine. Your character creator is basically just deciding how lumpen your character will be. And you run around with a full drum kit. Like, you are just attached to this drum kit that just moves.
Strong,
yes.
Yeah. It's just a slide around the world, really.
Yeah. And it's a platformer. Like, it's not a super challenging or punishing one, but it is a platformer. And it is also a music sequencer in the way that, like, okay, do you remember Guitar Hero Customs? Do you remember when they put in a custom music mode in that game?
No.
Okay, because it wasn't very good was the thing. And that's
Okay.
I'm not saying that because of my harmonics connection. I'm saying the thing they tried to do was just not that great. But it's that thing where it's just like they give you a number of instruments and, you know, especially with your drums, you can sequence all the different drum parts. And you are making beats and sounds or using default ones, using all that stuff. And your tempo actually is your momentum in the game. That's the really insane part.
Yeah. So, right. So as you increase your tempo, you move, the world just kind of clocks faster.
It pushes you faster.
Like
yeah.
The world simulation is keyed to the tempo of your music.
And so
it's hilarious.
So that manifests in weird ways because, you know, you might be like, well, why wouldn't you just slow it down to do some of this platforming? Well, it means you don't get momentum to do a jump, let's say, if you're
now that seems crazy because if it was purely a timescale thing, you would have the same, like all the movement would be the same regardless of the speed, which seems like they went out of their way to decouple those things.
Yeah, it's
probably
it's a weird thing. So sometimes you have to just go faster so you can make longer jumps. Which and I think burying the lead here a bit, it is just batshit cuckoo banana. What would you even call it? It's just it's like
a straight up parody
dream
of Dark Soulsiness. Like it is their universe, their world, their art style,
but not goofy. It is like it's fever
I don't know.
dreamish.
Yeah, I mean it feels like some of the more surrealist animated stuff you would have seen on like Liquid Television surreal. Or I don't know.
Goofy is not the right word. They're not like making like here's what's the guy with his arms up in the air from Demon Souls, the guy who praised
the sun guy.
Yeah, we're not making praise the sun jokes. We're just the world is so ridiculous.
It's their vibe. It's like they're, you know, like you find one of those rock god people you're looking for and like a giant fish with the head of a man jumps out of the sea out of nowhere and eats him.
Yeah.
And then
there's
vomits
a big
him
head
up
that
and
basically just looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin that's just floating all the time.
It's fun to see the unexpected stuff.
Like the thing is, I agree that goofy is not the right word for it, but it is extremely silly. Like
silly. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
like
yes.
it is not like it is a straight up parody of like, you know, Dark Soulsiness, like, but from a place of affection. You can tell that the people who made this game love that shit. And they just wanted to find a way to do their own dumb ass version of it. And I really do respect that.
And like did it well and tastefully, like sensibly. I mean, like in a way that like you kind of tell from the tutorial pop-ups and stuff. Like they really nailed the details of those games, the way those games intros are structured, how the tutorials are typically structured, like the way that down to like font choice and stuff. Like they did a really good job of making a facsimile of one of those.
But at the same time, like, you know, they don't get away from stuff that is just like very funny on its face. Like the fact that the opening theme is just like butt rock with a guy going, yeah, like that's great. That's a great tone setter.
Yeah. From watching you play it, I have not played it, but watching you play it, it feels like the winning combination on this game is its absurdity mixed with I just want to see what happens next.
Yeah.
I like not necessarily like, oh wow, that platforming is really enjoyable. It is, I just want to see the next event that happens. Or maybe unlock this person for my band.
Yes.
Which you have your stage performance aspect.
Yeah, there's like a stage mode where every time you unlock a new musician, like they add their thing to whatever the mix you're doing is. And there's lots of different drum sample types and other things. This is a $6 game. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
It is probably beatable in, I would say, a few hours at most. And that doesn't matter because at $6 at the ceiling, I'm going to say it is absolutely worth that just for the yucks.
Also, there's some like really clever musical puzzles in there. Like that guy with the box with the nails in it, and you have to like lay out a drum track that gets him to hit the right nails at the right times. Like there's some interesting uses of the mechanics in there.
Like sometimes a little obtuse in terms of like translating what you're supposed to do to the player, but I think that doesn't really matter because none of it is that difficult to figure out. You just got to kind of stare at it for a second.
Ultimate Drummer. What a fun little surprise there.
Delightful.
That is, like Alex said, $6 available on the PC, out now. Two more little things here I'll mention. We played a bit of during the Ultimate Drummer. I think it was during the Ultimate Drummer grab bag. We played some Snap and Grab, which Brad, you had played earlier at a summer game fest.
Yep.
I think what we saw there was a lot of what you had described previously, which is you kind of stage the heist. It's a heist game, and your character goes and takes pictures of certain objects in the environment, the thing you want to grab, some lights or things in the environment, people, then assemble a timeline and then execute the heist by walking through your timeline you've done of pictures, and the goons in your squad, your people in your squad will interact with the objects along that timeline to cause various things to happen so that hopefully you can make your way out. So if you just say, go grab the vase, that person will get caught by a guard. Then you say, well, before you grab the vase, distract the guard, and then so on and so forth. I have not played much more than we did initially. I will say my initial impression was it's a lot more tonally fun than I think I was expecting. I like the vibe of it. I think it's a very lighthearted escapade, which is not taking itself seriously at all.
Yeah, I thought some of the VOs quite good too. Like some of those characters are really selling their like Carmen Sandiego kind of jet setting crime life stuff.
The whole thing feels like you might hear a track in there where you're just hear the voice actors just kind of giggling or laughing and like keeping the whole thing in there. You know what I mean? Like it's got that vibe of like, look, we're just here to have fun and do some silly stuff. You know, it is. I might go back into it and check it out when I get a little bit more time, because I did just come away having a fun experience with the mechanic, and we ended by just getting another crew member, which I haven't been able to explore.
I think you had kind of just unlocked the hub and like really opened the game up at the end of that. It was a pretty interesting release model for that. I don't know if they had talked about that pre-release or not, but what is it, $8 I believe is for the first level effectively. It looks like
to get in,
there are going to be 5 levels total, but they are going like old school episodic. It looks like.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
So the other 4 levels are listed as upcoming DLC for the game on Steam, but I don't know. There's no prices listed, so I don't know how they're going to handle that.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it all shakes out. But yes, it is right. Episode 1, the Penthouse, is the thing you can buy now for $8. The other thing that we played, Alex and I jumped into that I was curious about, Brad, do you remember that physics-based building game? We've got a vertical building one, All Will Fall.
Oh, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
This is from like January, I want to say.
No, in the Planorama.
I want to say, I thought.
No, this just came out this month.
Really? I thought that game was supposed to come out like earlier this year.
It may be a thing that got pushed around. We talked about it earlier, but it did just come out. All Will Fall. Basically, the short of it is you have a group of people. The world is flooded. You're now building a society on the things that are peaking above the water. Whether it kind of seems like maybe tops of skyscrapers, whatever it is, some detritus that you're building on. I did not experience as much of the physics-based building as I thought I was going to when I got into it. Much more just society management sim, where you're like, hey, you need food, you need energy, you have people coming, you need to construct certain things. But in our time with it, which was only about 2 hours, it was a little less of the, hey, build a wobbly structure that might just collapse at any second, and more of, hey, how do we clear debris so we can access new areas? And how do I get more resources? Oh, I need to research the crane that can get metal and much more of that. In our brief time with it, eventually the water level did permanently go down, which made me feel like you'll do more of descending the environment than scaling up in the environment, which then revealed more resources and more of the gameplay area. The other kind of interesting thing that we didn't explore too much in our brief time with it, All Will Fall, is eventually you open up what seem like smaller challenge maps or more focused challenge maps that you can just launch into that kind of reset your progress. And you have it seems like, again, we didn't spend too much time in there, seems like a focused objective instead of hey, just sandbox build your, there is a pure sandbox mode, but in the map we played, it was kind of more guided. Hey, build out. The next thing you should do is this. On the map we jumped into had like, you need to achieve this goal. Get this goal done. So, curious. It is, I think that game is $30. I'm not sure I would say this is a big recommend to somebody who likes, building games and
it seems okay, but I feel like maybe they oversold the manage the physics aspect of this a little bit. I mean, which isn't to say it doesn't have that, but it feels like that is stuff you get after playing for a while versus stuff that you will be dealing with much early on.
Yeah, I'd have to spend much more time with it to really be like, oh yeah, by hour 5, you're worried about storms coming and blowing over your buildings and all of that. But we didn't get too much of that. That's All Will Fall. That's $30 on the PC. You can kind of see our 2 hours with it on our stream that we did on Tuesday. All right, I think there are other games that we did not get to, ones that are coming out soon and ones that have come out already. April has turned out to be quite a month for releases here. Just want to give a quick shout out to a game that I'm looking forward to playing but have not tried yet, and comes out as of this recording tomorrow. Forbidden Solitaire got a date.
Oh yeah,
yes,
very soon.
But we have not played it yet.
Not dug in yet.
We played the demo, and that's one I'm looking forward to. Also, I think Kiln is out as of last week.
Yes.
Shapes 2 is out, and I know we've said this before, but I still want to see what the heck is up with Tides of Tomorrow. That game I constantly think is a multiplayer game, but winds up being like an asynchronous multiplayer game where choices matter. I just need to go either play it or watch somebody play it so I can finally have it cemented in my head how that whole system works. That's again, we didn't try it, but I am curious to see Tides of Tomorrow. All right, those are the rest of the games for April as we scatter into May, and then everybody gets out of the way of Grand Theft Auto later in the year. We'll see what happens. This is not a Planorama.
No,
this is
we still do those.
We will talk more about those games next week. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk about the news and mostly, really, what's Xbox doing? Well, they want to tell you about it. So we'll talk about that in just a bit. Stick around. And we are back, and it is time for the news. Now,
time for your weekly report on Microsoft's ongoing corporate pivot.
What is Microsoft? Look, what I'm learning here.
Sorry, Xbox's corporate pivot.
Sorry.
Yes, it's no longer Microsoft games. That's the old.
Is Microsoft games now Xbox? Is it
or Microsoft
console?
Gaming, I believe.
Gaming.
We got to stay on brand here.
Is it a console first? Is it software first? Is it are we here to service Microsoft's needs? Are they more than their old self? Are they going back to nostalgia? They're trying to redefine themselves as are they really just a bunch of people who are out there to make Microsoft money?
Well, yeah, okay, that last one definitely, yeah, 100%.
And they still are a target of the BDS. That is also true.
Weird that didn't come up in this interview.
But they are trying to define themselves anew under the new leadership at Microsoft.
Yeah,
and
that's really what this is.
We have seen a lot go on. We have the Brad, I'm going to pitch this to you, but let me just say we have seen talked about their Game Pass restructuring, their positioning. We'll get into this more here about Project Helix. What is this new kind of big step forward on their rebrand?
Or yeah, I mean, that's what it is. It is an ongoing attempt to rebrand, and I mean, it's the ongoing Xbox redemption tour is what it is. Since Phil Spencer was either ushered out or decided to retire or both, and Asha Sharma has taken over. They have released this. They've portrayed it as an internal memo, but they also released it publicly. Like, obviously, supposed to be a statement of intent to the world, basically. But like that's really just kind of the most formal statement they've made about where they seem to be trying to take this thing since she came in and took over. And she's made some changes already, like the Game Pass pricing stuff we talked about last week. I talked about like the weird influx of new like Xbox dashboard features a few weeks ago, which she touches on in here. Like this is just kind of the most formal accounting.
A thing you mentioned previously is, up for debate now, and we don't get much clarity here, is whether stuff will come to other platforms other than an Xbox console in the future.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of touched on every aspect of the business here without actually really giving many answers on any of them.
So it's a fairly long memo.
Yeah, we don't need to go through the whole thing. There are some bullet points we can touch on here, but like a lot of people seem pretty excited by the fact that they are pivoting away from the Microsoft gaming name back to Xbox.
But that's such a surface level move.
It is. I mean, it's not the worst thing to do. I mean, Microsoft gaming does sound terrible, but
no, that's correct. But like, it doesn't mean anything inherently. It just means that they're saying this other thing didn't work. People know what an Xbox is, so let's just emphasize that now. Like, it doesn't actually signal anything.
Not real. Well, I mean, you could read it as part of a statement of intent, but whatever. I mean.
I think it is very clear from this rather long, lengthy memo that is put out by both Asha and Matt Booty.
Matt Booty is also signed on this memo,
A couple of things here I'll just say personally. My take is this: you're absolutely right. This is supposed to be a press release in the form of an internal memo, right? This is a new direction for them. It has maybe a little too much internal boardroom speak for a good press release.
Yes. The 10-point list is one of the more infuriating things I've read in this.
Our North Star, our new North Star is mentioned in here. Yes. I mean, we've all worked at large corporations. You know how this goes.
Yeah. So, but again, this is supposed to be initially, as presented, an internal memo to teams where those people would be inundated with all this kind of interior corporate speak.
Yeah.
The other thing is there's a real hammering home here of we are returning to what got us here.
Yeah, they harp pretty hard on the first Xbox 2001, Xbox Live in 2002. That spirit carried us through the last 25 years, and it's required to carry us forward.
A real upstart, we're the underdog. We're going to change.
I mean, they are now in the console space.
That's fair.
Again,
but not maybe because that's how they want to be. Maybe that's because that's how they are, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like there are a lot of acknowledgments of the way things are now in the industry. Like the attention economy has changed. They use the word Roblox in here. Like they go on, and then they say the model that got us here won't be the one that takes us forward.
Yes, but the spirit might be. So, the model that got them there, which was, a dedicated console with a closed ecosystem, is which I assume that what they're talking about, might not be. But the spirit of being pioneers and innovators in Xbox Live and, trying stuff out and just being the ones that had to break into the console industry, as I assume what they're going for here, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're going to shake things up. Brad, do you want to get into some of the more specifics here?
Yeah, we could talk about some of the bullet points here, but really it feels like doubling down on the stuff they've been gesturing toward in the last couple months after she took over. And a lot of what I think people seem actually excited about is that, again, they are emphasizing that they want to refocus on the console, which is what the most dedicated...
Or just console with a capital C, as they often refer to it.
Well, I mean, current and future, basically. Like, those are the first two bullet points under hardware. But, like, people who are invested in the Xbox platform and console have been pretty bummed about all this is an Xbox and games going non-exclusive and stuff. So, there's
Xbox, the everything platformer.
Right, so they're just... Oh, boy. So there's multiple things in here about... Actually, I'm sorry. Some of it also comes from an interview that Stephen Totillo did with the two of them that we will quote from a little bit here as well.
But these bullet points are probably the best way to summarize what is going on here. Why don't you just read them out?
Sure. Okay, it starts, the bullet points
I just want to hear you read this.
No, I'm talking around this so I don't have to say this word. I don't want to read these bullet points because of this.
I'll do it. If you want me to, I'll read them.
No, I'll do it. I mean, she starts off by saying our new North Star will be daily active players. So there's a lot of talk in here about very vague corporate goals for how they want the platforms to be used in the future. But okay, here are we will execute this through 4 priorities: hardware, content, experience, and services.
Okay.
Hardware, stabilize Gen 9 as a healthy and high quality base. That means the current Xbox.
Gen 9? Wait, Brad, can you explain to me how we're up to Gen 9?
I'm not going to belabor this point.
Brad, how do we get to Gen 9? That's just so many
genuine,
generations.
literal, actual biggest takeaway for me in this thing is to see a member of corporate management of one of the major platforms using the numbered generation nomenclature in all seriousness. Please don't let this catch on. Please don't let this catch on.
Put out by Gen 9 being used in this.
It is unfortunate.
And I'm getting the sense, and from talking to you outside of this recording, that you don't want to explain the whole history of getting up to Gen 9.
They're just arbitrary labels that somebody came up with at some point that aren't very meaningful or useful.
But it is, in this reference, the current series of Xboxes.
Yeah, Xbox has been using Gen 9 as an internal descriptor for what the series consoles are since the beginning. You could see that if you ever drilled down to look at the build info on a game on an Xbox. But to see it bleeding into external communications is very unfortunate.
To be fair, this is presented as an internal communication that is posted.
Yeah, but they put this. I mean, they posted this on their site. They could have
edited this.
This was written with the intent of being
just
public.
say stabilize Xbox Series X and S. That's all you need to say.
But the point there being
you've only made 4 Xboxes. How the fuck is this a Gen 9 when this is only the 4th iteration?
The point is they want to whatever. Again, this will be a kind of recurring thing throughout these bullet points. Is not really sure what that means. That's a nice thing to have on there, but what does stabilize it mean?
So Totillo touched on that with them in a little bit, and she did give a quote to that effect that was pretty illuminating. Okay, stabilize the current consoles, deliver Project Helix to lead in performance, and play your console and PC games. They've said that before. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of these bullet points are barely worth reading. Lead in comfortable, personable, high-performance accessories. That one's fairly explanatory, but build a strong ecosystem that expands choice and reach.
You just described a marketplace. That's all it is.
Right,
you add games to it. That's by default you do that.
Yeah, like that could mean so many different things. That in fact that's a lot of these bullet points. I don't know that we actually even need to go through all of them.
I think it's worth just running through these, and we could just run.
Yeah, sure.
We could just run through these very quickly.
Under content, grow and extend an enduring portfolio of franchises players love, evolve our third-party partnerships, and strengthen our 5-year slate. Totillo got into a little bit of that stuff with them more too. Expand into China, emerging markets, and mobile-first audiences. Maintain and grow in live games and long-term stewardship. Elevate creator-centric platforms like Minecraft, The Elder Scrolls, and Sea of Thieves. That's the Roblox effect there.
Would you call Sea of Thieves a creator-centric platform?
Not
that one's
exactly. Well, I think they mean content creator in the traditional sense of streaming it and that kind of thing. It's not it's a creator-centric platform, not a UGC-centric one.
Okay.
That's not a game where you're making... I do think
they are mixing different types of creators in just mentioning those 3 games.
Yes, I think it's just a driving engagement with... Yeah. Under experience, fix the fundamentals for players and partners. I mean, again, it's kind of getting back to that tacit acknowledgement in this thing of hey, our platform is not in the best shape. It works well technically, but there's a lot of features that people are not happy with, and the business decisions, and et cetera, et cetera. Make Xbox the best place for developers and creators to build and grow. Overhaul discovery, customization, social, and personalization to connect the community. That one is actually somewhat meaningful as they start adding things to the dashboard that people have wanted for those types of categories. Under services, fortify Game Pass with clear differentiation and sustainable economics. Return the business to durable growth with strong cost discipline.
Okay.
Make cloud play feel native, fast, and reliable across TVs and low-cost devices. Use mergers and acquisitions deliberately to accelerate growth where organic paths are too slow.
Fuck yes! That's what I want from Xbox. Mergers and acquisitions, baby.
Well, yeah, but frankly, saying use M&A deliberately is almost like a direct...
Hey, let's rein this in a little bit.
Not rejection of, but yes, exactly. It's we really kind of went on a spending spree a few years ago and just bought every company we could get our hands on.
Yes, maybe a little more deliberate this time.
They did say it was deliberate. Again, I don't know how many people believe them, and maybe this was for the courts, when they said, hey, look, our mobile just can't get off the ground. We really want to buy King, right? This is why we want Activision here, because we can't get our mobile stuff off the ground here, and it's not for Call of Duty. That'll go anyway.
Yeah,
but these bullet points, I'd say half of them are interesting, half of them just sound like a thing you could put on there and be do better. We want to do better. We should say leading up to this, some of this, or maybe this is in the other piece we'll be referencing in a second here by Totillo. A lot on customization, a lot on being able to mix and match the experience for the player,
right,
to kind of extract what they want out of Xbox's offering without offering them everything or nothing.
Generation remix.
A little bit of generation remix.
Sure.
The Xbox, you put together a little from column A, a little from column B, a little from column C, right?
Yeah.
All right, Alex. Yeah. I think you should have the honor of reading this thought cloud of what we are at Xbox, because we've been in these meetings where people have talked about, hey, this just feels like no bad ideas at a brainstorm. Come on, everybody, talk about what we are here. What are the things that come up with some phrases?
But we usually don't put the bullshit that comes out of those meetings into our official press wire is the thing. And that's where I think maybe the parts of this either should have been edited before they were put into a public place, or it should have simply stayed a leaked document, because this is not stuff you need to be putting out to your player base. Like, you are talking to yourself here. You are talking to your company when you say, earn every player. Okay, sure, fine. Protect our art. Yeah, all right. Stay rebellious.
Yeah.
Progress over perfection. I guess. Signal over ceremony. All right, you're starting to kind of get into more existential things here. Core before more. All right, now maybe you're losing me here. Outwork the problem. I see you've been trying that for a while. Speed is learning. I don't know how that applies here. Makers over managers, which that's a weird thing to say at Microsoft. And also, clarity is kindness. What?
So to kind of put a hammer, if you haven't seen this actual memo, these are just numbered in 1 through 10 without any other explanation other than this is kind of at our best, we are these things. We are doing these things. We are these things.
That is the aspect of this as an English major that I cannot fucking stand. At our best, we earn every player, protect our art. Sure, those are grammatically correct.
We progress over perfection, Brad.
Right. At our best, we makers over managers.
Mm-hmm. We clarity.
That's not a complete sentence. There's no verb in there. What the fuck? It really strikes me that we've been out of the corporate world long enough that it's really interesting now getting a glimpse back in at some of the new phrases that have emerged since we left.
I don't like.
Do you know what signal over ceremony actually means?
Yeah, it's like content over
like self
function over form is basically what they're saying. Like, it's like less pageantry, more substance is what that's saying. I mean, these are all like.
But signal is the word for that?
These are all reasonable in and of themselves when you unpack the language and get down to what they're saying. But
what's outwork the problem? What does that mean? Like,
okay, actually, that one I don't know.
Does that mean
maybe they meant to write outlook is a problem?
No, I don't think they would put that in here either.
It was an internal memo, maybe.
Does that mean like you work out the problem, or you
I don't know.
Work hard enough the problem goes away?
I am definitely side-eyeing that one a little bit of like, is that one just hey, you just need to put in the hours?
What speed is learning? Does that go fast? You learn a lot of stuff?
Several of these really do sound a little bit like they are recalling the old stack rank version of Microsoft.
I also think if you asked any of the people involved in putting this out, what does that stuff mean? You could watch a person short circuit in front of you.
I mean, look, again, we were in meetings where I feel like these things were put there, and we would leave those meetings and be like,
what the fuck?
Why did I write down speed is learning again?
This is all pretty standard corporate pep rally type stuff. It's just kind of weird that this made it into the public messaging, but whatever.
The bigger parts are probably the 4 areas of bullet points we just talked about, and then also, like you mentioned, Brad, a follow-up with Steven Totillo.
Again, Totillo did this interview with them where, like, in a lot of the cases, they really did just kind of hand wave away. Like, he tried to ask them about the exclusivity thing, and they basically kind of demurred on that and said, their decisions on that will follow as they learn more and observe more. We'll take a data-driven approach and a strategic-driven approach, and then we'll look at our principles and make some calls.
Thank God.
Was the response to, are you going to basically keep more games exclusive and stop just publishing every game you make on everybody's platform? Probably the most substantive answer or clarification he got out of them was he asked them, what does stabilized Gen 9 or series consoles involve? She said, we have formed a team and we're investing in console features. We're standing up the muscle to make sure that all of our performance and reliability and quality is great. We are investing in it as a first-class experience again and want to make sure that all the players who want to be on Gen 9 are on Gen 9 with a great console with regular updates. So, that is actually substance here. That's actually... you're hearing them say, hey, we're putting more development effort into making the platform good again.
But I would say that would be, to me, that would sound like kind of fluff. But like you just mentioned before, they are doing updates in the current dashboard.
And that has been traditionally one of Microsoft's big differentiating features. Since the first Xbox, they're a software company that knows this stuff better than Sony and Nintendo. Sorry, Sony and Nintendo fans, but it's just true. Look at the quick resume stuff. Nobody else has that. Nobody else has anything close to that.
Or at least that functions as well. I know it's not quick resume, but their sleep stuff on PlayStation just doesn't work the same.
Right, because quick resume survives turning the console. You can turn the console off for 3 months and come back and resume the game.
Yeah,
where you left off. They have always come up with cool platform level features since since the first Xbox.
Yeah, unified online, unified user game profiles, that whole thing.
Yeah, smart delivery, all that stuff. They have just done smart stuff with the consoles since the beginning. Now, obviously, that has not been enough. And you need the games.
I mean, they've kneecapped themselves in totally other ways. Is the thing.
You need the games for people to show up. Without games people want to play, nobody cares how cool your platform is. But still, I'm kind of excited to hear them reinvesting in that stuff.
So, what do you guys think in terms of squinting and looking at this initiative? Is it more acknowledging that we've lost our way to not just financially and to shareholders, but to a public?
Honestly, this really just reads to me as the late title card of the management change. Is really what it is. Is hey, they
introducing Asha.
Yeah. Well, not just, but more again, what the kind of company's direction is going to be going forward. And then again, it's kind of hard to read specificity out of some of the vague stuff they said, but at least get a sense of which direction they're pointing.
If they were able to come out with a lot of hard specifics, then I think there would potentially be some reason for excitement there, because that would mean that there was a lot, something to actually sink your teeth into here. I think a lot of this just feels like gesturing to me. There is some substance in that interview, but I get the sense that everything about the way they have been approaching this regime change and sort of new direction reads to me personally like they don't have a lot of time. They cannot dally on trying to get this momentum going again, because I don't get the impression that they are on a long-term timetable in terms of what they need to accomplish, whatever that ends up being. I don't think you put Asha and Matt Booty out there like this early with what they have to say right now, unless they feel like they have a pressure to start drumming up that audience and getting them hype again. They're not waiting for the next console cycle. Them bringing up the current console cycle, which might as well be dead in the water for them, and saying we are going to try and make it better, we're going to try and get more people into that ecosystem, says to me they have to do it now.
Well, I think it's also just a show of good faith for them to be like, hey, we're not just going to abandon this generation. We're gonna keep this thing going until the next one comes along. And also, they have had by far the most continuity between platforms of any of the console makers. So work they do on these Xboxes can more than likely transition over to the new ones.
And I think I think if you I think you're right, Alex. I think this is more of this isn't concrete stuff. This is vibes, right? This is hey,
we are trying to get the noxious vibes off of us as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, but I'm sure they also just don't have answers for a lot of this stuff.
They don't have answers.
If Totillo had come out and just been hey, Gears E-Day, is that coming out on the PS5 or not? They probably don't know. In fact, I highly doubt they've fully made decisions around all that kind of specific detail yet.
So I think they have a couple of things going on personally. I think they have a clear message here that is clear out of all of this stuff is we are rejecting the last couple of years of the Xbox gaming movement, like this
aggressively.
Aggressively.
Dropping.
That's the biggest thing for me.
Dropping This Is an Xbox, like bringing the Game Pass prices back down.
Not
basically
only
doing everything but straight up saying those people fucked up. Like doing everything but that.
Yeah, sure.
It's really saying like, hey, we're not only dropping it, we think that was a bad we're reversing course on that, and we are going to focus on this. The other thing that seems clear to me is they are moving. We are not going to be, well, we'll see what happens with Helix. The vibe seems to be we might be in another situation where we have multiple Helix SKUs it seems like they want to open a door, because they talk a little bit about affordability and how expensive things are, and hey, look at Game Pass. We were able to give different versions of Game Pass and open it back up. They didn't say anything about what Helix would be, but I would imagine from this type of cadence that they might have multiple versions of Helix come out instead of one SKU. I don't know. That remains to be seen. So the thing that's coming up in June is their showcase, right? We still have Gen 9. Sorry, Brad. To
don't worry, Gen X is coming.
Right. Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Finally, Gen X is getting its due.
Don't make me pull up this Wikipedia page, man. It's just so ridiculous.
I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I think I closed it. I had it up earlier.
But we still have that in which they still gotta get Fable out the door, like you said. We still have
there's still a Forza on the horizon.
Yeah, we still have a Gears of War. We still have to make it through the current slate of games here, get those out, and quote unquote stabilize what is going on here. And I think she probably wants to start setting the table for what's next, right? Like, hey, I would not be surprised if she has a more prominent role in that showcase. That's not usually what they are, but I wouldn't be surprised.
She'll come out and talk for sure
about the kind of this kind of feeling here, right? And so probably getting ahead of that a month or so early and being like, hey, like you said, we're in a new era here. We've rebranded, right? She'll be wearing a shirt that says, what is it? Xbox Gaming is the
no, rebrand? Microsoft Gaming is what it was. It's just back to Xbox now.
Just Xbox. Okay. So she'll have a team shirt, right? They'll have, branding there.
If they start doing the t-shirt thing like Phil used to, I'm fucking washing my hands.
No, but I mean
thing.
The team shirt that says Xbox, as the brand instead of Microsoft Gaming.
I never begrudged Phil his t-shirts. I think he genuinely was into all of those games.
But if they try to maintain some weird continuity with that, I think that is really stupid.
So I do think the biggest takeaway from this public release of this and kind of the PR campaign that's been going on is a public acknowledgement that we lost our way somewhere.
That's really what this is,
and not just a corporate hey, our books are bad. And we report on a lot or report on other people's reporting.
Yeah, we talk about a lot of other people's reporting.
Yeah. That we talk about here is that internally they're shaking things up, or their financials are weird, or Game Pass is not. This is a very public hey, we know you guys. We're going to try and do some stuff that focuses on you, and speed is learning.
Yeah, I glossed over some of this language, but we have work to do. Players are frustrated. New feature drops on console have been less frequent. Our presence on PC isn't strong enough. Pricing is getting harder for people to keep up with. Core experiences such as XYZ are still too fragmented. They're relatively critical of themselves here.
It's a much softer, and I'm sure this is very intentional, and I take everything a corporation does as extremely intentional, softer hand than an aggressive hands on hip stance about what Xbox is going to be, right? I'm not telling you it's going to be wild and it's going to blow your socks off and you need to get in here. It's a much softer hey, we know we got to get back in there. And
well, okay, let me articulate this, and you tell me if I'm getting too harsh on this, but the problem I'm having with all of this, and it's something that I think was just going to happen no matter what, just based on the circumstances that led to this change in power and leadership and where they are now. It's one thing to say, obviously this wasn't working. Obviously these things we were doing were not working, and there are things we can go back to. do you think that the people that are currently in charge are actually being honest with the reality of what led to those circumstances versus just throwing everything at the feet of the last people who were in charge and saying, nope, that was bad. Here, we're just going to go back to Xbox now. Like, are they actually looking internally at things in Microsoft that might have led to those circumstances that are not purely the work of a Phil Spencer or a Sarah Bond?
Like how far up or
like how far back and how far up are those decisions? Like, are things that maybe Satya Nadella imposed upon that group going to be discussed in those kinds of terms, or is that something you can't do?
If you take, right, Brad, if you take the Stephen Totilo piece at its face and take it without too much cynicism, Asha does talk about talking to Nadella, right, about like, hey, the brand and what we need to do here, and here are the problems that those meetings were happening, and this was a lot. Do I take that on its face, or do I, you know, like,
considering Nadella put her in that position, look, it's never going to be 100% clear because they're never just no one's ever going to come out right and say this stuff. It just feels to me the thing you are talking about with Microsoft directionally is where the current profit, like their profit goals are, which are not as much on the gaming side of things and are on other aspects of the business that are maybe a little more problematic. And the thing we remember from like the, kind of the last years of the Phil regime was that some of those mandates seem to be getting very directly involved in whatever was going on in Microsoft.
Pretty top down.
We certainly don't know specifically what, if anything, he dictated to them. So that's kind of hard to answer. I mean,
I'm just talking instinctively.
Yeah, I mean, it can also be the case that the top of the company has got a strategic vision, and the people running each division are then looking bottom up for ways to align with that, Like what I mean is, like, it's not, he didn't necessarily go to them and say, hey, you need a subscription service, figure it out.
Right.
They could have said, they could have just as well said, hey, Microsoft is a services company now. How can we come up with a service that fits into that goal?
And there's look, it's a one of the bigger corporations out there, Microsoft.
Yes, right? Enormous.
And even from the little itty bitty baby corporation stuff that I have been exposed to, there's like so much stuff that we have no idea about in terms of maybe Phil's contract had, stuff in it that the more profit they make, he gets a bonus, and like he's not going to take the time to do a thing to rebuild where they walk back a little bit and they say like, hey, we're going to have some down quarters, right? Like we're going to have some quarters where we're in a rebuilding year. We're not going to put out. We have to rethink Game Pass. We have to take some experiments here. Who knows? Like all the weird corporate stuff. Maybe you're right. And it was like top down, like 20% every year, right? 25%. They had big layoffs. That was probably really hard for Phil to go through. I'm sure a lot of those people that were laid off were people that, maybe he brought on or worked with or all of that. And Asha's coming in a different environment.
Yes.
We'll see what it looks like next year.
Yeah.
Whether that environment is like you're kind of intimating here. Do they have their own agency to try to right this ship, or are they still going to have somebody's, headwinds from big Microsoft?
Are they still working in the same basic guardrails that led to where Microsoft
potentially
and Xbox
led to
ended
that?
Up? Yeah.
Yeah. Potentially. We don't know for sure.
No,
but
and
yes,
we never will is the thing. Again, I'm talking instinctively here just based on my own experiences in corporations and just seeing where things have generally been with that company over the last several years. I just think that at this point, it's going to take more than a lot of talking right now for me to actually feel like this means anything. Like, it's going to be a year or two before I feel like we can get a real read on whether any of what they are doing is actually beneficial or not.
I think a kick-ass game could really turn their stuff around. It's like, I think it's almost that simple in a way. That's just like,
that's what I was getting at earlier.
There's a lot of other stuff in the Microsoft that taints the equation, right?
Yes.
But I'm just saying, I think the majority of people out there, they're still just looking for an amazing gaming experience.
But they've had those. Like, there are games.
I don't know if they had. Yeah.
They've had games that came to this platform that were very, very good, that were well loved, that were celebrated.
I don't know if they have broken out in the way that they need. I mean, in this article, they talk about chasing that Game of the Year award, which I think
really just puts
weird.
it to them.
Yeah.
Like, I pressed booty on whether Microsoft, which had recently seemed to solve its gaming drought problem, was aiming to improve game quality and create more bona fide Game of the Year contenders. Other game publishers keep claiming those trophies, I said.
Which is such a weird thing to say.
Yeah, it is weird.
Like, even an executive, like, it's just kind of like, I don't know what that means, because anything can be a Game of the Year if it's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I get where he's coming from, though. Like, what was the last first-party Microsoft game that really was on that short list? I couldn't tell you.
Like maybe Psychonauts 2, it really it tickled a lot of people.
Yeah, but that's been 5 years.
2? Pentiment, like I would say that, Indiana Jones seemed to hit for a lot of people.
Yeah, sure.
Like there's absolutely been games this generation that are they all-timers? Maybe not necessarily, but certainly would be in that conversation for a Game of the Year. It's not been the game, like the development of games. There was a cadence problem early on, but the actual quality, I feel like, from Microsoft has not been that bad this generation. That's not the issue.
It's
fine.
Let's say
this year. I mean, this year, the last 2 years have been much better.
Last year was pretty strong for them, but, like, it's been a long time since a Halo game that people universally praised. Gears has been
kind of treading water,
like kind of MIA for a while. I mean, but also like those franchises sort of had their day, in a way, and they haven't really come out with anything equivalent to those since they went on the back burner.
I think they mentioned it as well. I think South of Midnight, a game that again I think got praise, but I don't think broke orbit. Right? Like I don't think it. It didn't take off. I didn't play it, but it's something I wanted to play. Just didn't get around to it. You're right. Pentiment, I think again. Like awesome game. I'm so glad that came out. I really did like that game.
Not going to break big though. You're right.
It didn't break big.
We're talking about tentpoles that will get people to come back to the Xbox platform again.
So I wonder. They've placed a lot of big bets. I don't think Call of Duty's not obviously. I'm not breaking news here. Not delivering what they want. I think people are at least fatigued in that way.
At least as far as getting people to sign up for Game Pass or buy it on Xbox. I'm sure it's still. Yeah. I'm sure it's still doing fine on the platforms that people buy it on.
And I think you're right. Indiana Jones is one of the ones that was an unexpected, for me personally, hit. I think it really did deliver. But then, that kind of collided with their Everything's an Xbox campaign, which then pushed it onto places that maybe rightly or shooting themselves in the foot allowed people to play those games on a PlayStation.
I've got it. State of Decay 3.
There you go.
That's
going to be it. It's going to be the game.
Maybe it will.
It's going to be game of the generation.
I mean, just again, Forza Horizon 4 and 5 are probably two of the best driving games of the last couple of decades, straight up.
Yeah. So okay, then why are they struggling so much to win people back to their platform?
I mean, the incentives just aren't there.
Yeah.
Like they lost everybody during the Xbox One, and there just has not been a super compelling reason for anybody to come back that wasn't already bought in.
Like everything we've described with those games and everything, they're all great games if you're in that ecosystem, but none of them are the thing that says, I'm abandoning an existing platform for this. It is not bringing in the people who left. And that, especially once they did the Everything is an Xbox thing, I do think that muddied the waters a little bit in terms of, does this platform even matter anymore? Yeah,
they've been publishing all their first-party games on PC for God knows how many years now. They've been on PS5 with most games for the last couple, at least. Unless you're already an Xbox first person, there's just not a lot of reason to come back.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that Fallout, hit big with the TV crowd, right? Like that series, I think did, you correct me if I'm wrong, with that first season did relatively
very well,
right?
Yes.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people, but I didn't hear as much talk about people being like, I want to go play those. What console is that on? Where I did hear that on Last of Us, where people were talk about the game a lot, with in terms of the game and the show, and maybe it's because they were tied more closely together in terms of the story.
The stories were basically the same, or
same,
they were adapted from the games. I think one thing, and I remember there being some comment, I think when that series hit, that there was some discussion inside of Microsoft of being why wasn't there a new Fallout game to go along with that? Now that's a much larger conversation and a much bigger thing about how Bethesda does their shit and what the timetables for those games are.
Yeah,
but I think the only
and Starfield probably.
But there is a nugget of truth in there that, like, yes, in the old days they would have figured out a way to get something out there in time to align with that show.
Well, they did. They had Fallout 76 content. That's just not something that we are into, so it kind of just came and went.
But I also think it's
a tougher sell for a mainstream audience. Is a MMO.
It's almost like what was that one that the Vault like
the mobile game thing?
Yeah,
the Vault Dweller
like,
game.
Fallout Shelter.
Fallout Shelter. It's almost like you want something like that where people can just continue your experience on your phone or something like that. But yeah, I'm just working through what Sony has had that is hitting that Microsoft is not. More than just, I don't know, just people seem to buy a PlayStation.
I mean, that's a big part of it. Like, they've got more, I mean, they've got more arguable, I mean, taste is subjective, but they've got more and arguably better exclusives, and also PlayStation has a level of brand loyalty that Xbox just
Microsoft
does not.
Never got.
Like the PS1 and the PS2 did an insane amount to entrench the PlayStation as the console to get, if you want one of the, Nintendo's its own thing now. It's basically Xbox or PlayStation in that category. Like, you can the sales numbers make it pretty clear which one of those most people default to.
So would you say, is it fair to say that the Xbox through Xbox 360 through its online innovations and its unified gamertag stuff really did some things to shake that hierarchy, but didn't keep up enough where then PlayStation just caught up and now has the same features?
I don't even think those features were what did it. It was they famously shipped early. They beat Sony to market by a year, and then the PS3 cost $600 in 2006.
See, it was just market.
Yeah, it was Sony. It was Sony falling on its face, and Microsoft moving heaven and earth to ship early, Red Ring or not.
So basically, more Sony kind of losing it that one, like than Microsoft winning it.
Sony gave them an opening, and they went for it. And they probably could have held on to a lot of it if they then hadn't fallen on their face. The generation after that.
In the worst possible generation to do it.
And I don't want to sell short Sony's efforts with the PS4 because like they really brought it back in an incredible way after the issues they had with the PS3.
I mean, Microsoft, it's because on paper they have amazing developers. They have acquired like some of the best talent, or at the time did acquire some of the best talent for games, all on paper, and the wheels just seem to slip, in the mud in places.
Yeah, look, it's something that's going to be diagnosed and picked over for years to come whenever Microsoft decides that this is no longer a going concern for them. But right now, I think all you can really glean from everything we've talked about here is that they are going to do a lot of signaling to the audience that, like, we're going to do it like it used to be. And I have no idea how effective that's going to be in the long run versus the short-term gains of just kind of rallying the troops.
Yep.
Alex, I have heard it will be signal over ceremony.
If you can finally define for me what that actually means, I will give you a response.
Anything else we want to add to this? I mean, this is kind of a bigger wait and see now.
It's the end of the prologue. It's the end of the beginning of this change in leadership, and they've gotten this.
I loved your late title card.
Yes, I mean that's what it feels like. Like it's basically, here is their unified statement for where we're going. Here's a mea culpa for, yes, we get it. We have not been what you wanted. I'm glad this is out of the way, so hopefully by Summer Game Fest they can just actually talk about products or talk about, you know what I mean, like talk about tangible stuff and not core before more.
Well,
but also as much as like you can mock that phrase, like that really does kind of epitomize what they're talking about here, right? It's like, hey, we need to get back to the roots of the console. We need to make the console good again. Like that needs to be the foundation of our effort.
I guess I think yes, but the part that
but what is the more in that? Like, what is the more that it is meant to counterbalance?
Well, I don't know. We won't get to the more until we perfect the core.
The core until we shed the more.
More
to get to
is for later. It's right there.
June 7th is the Xbox 2026 showcase, followed by their E-Day Direct. So they'll be pushing that Gears of War, and I assume that we'll have some Fable news one way or the other.
Yeah, they've got to have a date for Fable at this thing, right?
I would fucking hope so.
I mean, there was, the rumors we talked about a couple weeks ago that Grubb was mentioning that it has been delayed internally because of GTA, so who knows? Maybe that game will be amazing. I don't know. That game looks cool. So. That game looks cool. I have high hopes for some of the stuff they've said about that game.
Do you think that showcase is more of a longer dive into a few of their specific releases, or do you think they do like the blitz, like we're going to show 25 games that are in development?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know, because I mean the rapid fire thing has always been very Game Pass driven. Like a lot of those are third party games that they're like, hey, everything from here on out is Game Pass day one. So if they're pulling back on some of that stuff, maybe they will have less. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see them spending like a chunk of time on like 3 or 4 bigger titles that they want to dig into, and kind of a longer look at what the current Xbox brand is, right? Like, hey, this is what we're going into some of these things. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if we had at least some mention of what Project Helix's direction is.
Probably talk more about that thing, at least in vague terms. I don't know. I'm sitting here thinking, like, what could they announce? And I actually don't know much that they could have to say.
I mean, anything they'd be announcing would be stuff that was greenlit under the previous group anyway.
Like they've already,
well, they could have new things. They could just have new initiatives we haven't heard yet.
I don't know if
2027, 28 games.
I don't know if there will be anything out of Halo or not.
To what end now, honestly?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what state they're in with Halo.
There's been a lot of personnel changes at that studio as well, and they were moving to Unreal Engine, so I don't know if they'd be ready to show anything. Yeah. Maybe the next Tim Schafer game will be there. I assume he's making something. I don't know. I mean, like, Keeper was clearly a Lee Petty joint, and I get the sense that Kiln was also a smaller team. Yeah. So I would assume they've got like a bigger game.
He's been working on Call of Duty.
Probably, yes.
They're becoming a Call of Duty sports studio, actually.
Stop. Oh, they'll wish that into the world. All right. TBD, more to be seen. We may hear more, but it's only 2 months away.
That's probably enough talk about Microsoft until they have actual stuff to show.
I think so.
Yeah. For the time being.
Let's switch gears over to Ubisoft.
Another company that's doing great.
The setup for this will have 2 things here, but just remember, Ubisoft just went through their whole big reorg with their fiefdoms and their who's gonna remember the Game Studio One, whatever they were calling.
They like rebroke out some stuff and internally as like, you're working on these experiences, etc.
Yeah, so Alex, we've got Black Flag Resynced. One of the 852 Assassin's Creed things that we kind of had rumors about, but now we have an actual game.
I know it's not spelled that way, but Resynced is a really bad name for your reboot of your boat game.
Nice.
Fair.
I'm just saying. Like, I would have maybe like taken 5 more minutes to come up with another subtitle for that one personally.
Resung.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is they are remaking more or less Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This has been known for a bit.
There's rumored. I think it so rumored that you kind of could say it was known, but I mean they finally have
leaked 7 different ways, basically.
But they finally officially confirmed it.
And so the big thing that kind of came out of there's a piece on here on Video Games Chronicle that kind of talks in pretty good detail about what they're planning on doing here. So it is Black Flag, the 4th Assassin's Creed game, more or less, in totality, except for a couple of things. One, they are apparently greatly reducing the amount of real-world stuff. That's the one where you worked at the video game developer that Abstergo owned.
Wasn't that first person?
It was first person also. That's not really any great loss, though it's interesting that they're choosing to de-emphasize that stuff a little bit. Maybe that speaks more about where they are directionally with that series. The other thing, though, is that apparently they're not remaking any of the DLC stuff for that game. And I think, as most people remember, Freedom Cry, the Adewale storyline in that game, was actually one of the better things about Black Flag. Black Flag, generally a very good Assassin's Creed all around, but that was that DLC really stood out.
Yeah, that's a shame they're not putting that in there. Although it sounds like they're doing way more work to this than I would have expected.
Yeah, they're making some gameplay changes and improvements, and then, they're also, it's going to get a big visual polish on top of everything else.
Yeah, it sounds like they're basically bringing in more of the modern parkour and combat from the newer games into this.
like reworking the escort or stalking missions, which definitely needed. That game had some of the worst, if I recall, the following missions. And I don't know, like I understand maybe why you do this. It's kind of separate from all the other Assassin's Creed storylines, so like you can kind of do this one as a one-off and not have to worry about where it fits into everything else. But at the same time, that game was a PS4 game.
You say not that old?
That was only
not
one,
that old.
Yeah, that was
I
only one
reviewed
console
that
ago.
game.
You're
For
old.
Giant Bomb is how not
You're
that old
old.
that game is.
Yeah, right. And now they're remaking
That was
it.
13 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I would maybe quibble with the word choice here a little bit. I'm not sure this meets my bar for remake necessarily, but whatever.
There isn't a designation between
there's
remake
not.
and remaster.
It's entirely subjective. This
It's
is
a
more than a
remakester.
remaster. Yeah, right. Yeah, I like Black Flag a lot. I don't know if I'm ready to go back and play it. Black Flag, the game that spawned launched a million ships that would one day become what the heck
A
is the
very
name of that game?
disappointing
Skull and
multiplayer
Bones.
game.
Skull and Bones.
like that's really, I mean, to me, there's two things here. Number one, I feel like Black Flag is like right behind the Ezio games as one of the fan favorite Assassin's Creeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. Again, I can't speak for the Assassin's Creed community, but for me, yeah.
I always got the sense that it was up there. Number two is like, hey, that ship combat we came up with was pretty rad, and then we kind of failed to fully capitalize on that, apparently. So,
Yeah.
what if we just bring it back again?
There were like dottings of it, like, in Origins, there was some boat stuff in it, as well as Odyssey, but like none of it was ever quite the same as the Black Flag stuff.
Is there a reference to the ascension of the Jackdaw in this? That's all I want to know. Does that ring any bells at all?
Man, it has been 13 years, hasn't it?
One of the original, this, up there with my favorite video game bug videos that have gone viral.
Oh, the floating.
I remember the thing you're talking.
All the crew members go ascending to heaven, and then the ship emerges out of the water.
One can only hope.
There was a follow-up game that was for the 360 that was like a sort of Black Flag continuation, but wasn't really a sequel. I'm trying to remember what the hell that game was called, because I played that also.
Are you thinking about the Vita game?
No, that was Liberation. That's a different game. That's a whole thing that was made for the Vita that eventually got ported to the PS4. I'm thinking there was another game that was a direct follow-up to Black Flag that took place, I think, a little like 100 years after. But it was only on the 360, and it was pretty mediocre. Which is probably why no one remembers it.
Not Rogue.
Yes, Rogue.
You
That's
think,
the one.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yes, a Rogue. I remember. I don't know. Like, I was just thinking because we were talking about Black Flag here. I was like, oh yeah, I wonder what they would ever do anything with Rogue again. The answer to that is probably no. But still,
This is the period where they started like really maybe overdoing it on.
I think it was. I think Black Flag was the last one that had a number on it, right?
It was. Yeah.
I think that was the jumping off point where they were like, we're making so many of these now that it probably doesn't make sense. It's going to start looking real silly to put numbers on these.
That's when they started making those like downloadable side-scrolling games too. On top of everything, like they did too much at around that time.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of too many Assassin's Creeds,
they have. Did you know they do phases? They're in their Marvel and their Star Wars phases. Yeah. So they're done with their current phase. We're moving into the next phase. Okay. Did you guys have a handle on? Yeah.
Hang on. Sorry, I just need to ask. Did they ever actually give Shadow an ending?
I never played that piece of content that came out.
The DLC? Neither did I.
Okay, I should go back and wrap that up.
Okay.
Do you guys have a handle on what's going on in the Assassin's verse right now?
Not really.
Like, we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed Hexe in a second.
Hexe.
Hexe.
Yeah.
I wonder, the kind of more horror-ish one.
Are they going to keep that name? I don't know. Probably.
But do you guys remember the other? Do you know Invictus? That's their PvP one.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Only vaguely, but yes.
That's by the For Honor team. Remember the Shake Up Vantage Studios? That's the Black Flag team took over all. This is when it was a Creative House 1, Creative House 2. Vantage is the Black Flag team. They took over all of the Assassin's Creed stuff. This is when Clint Hawking left from Hexa, right? Like around that time, right? The real story here is we've had another departure from Hexa. Is it really Hexa?
Yeah, it's German.
Hexa. Oh, geez. Okay.
That E isn't just there for decoration, man. All right.
Okay. And Assassin's Creed Hexe lost Benoit Richer, I'll say, Richer, which is the game director. Clint Hawking was the creative director on it. They have a lot of Assassin's Creed stuff going on still.
Yes.
A bunch of mobile stuff. Jade, do you remember that one?
Only vaguely.
That's the one. These are still confirmed. Ubisoft just put up a post. Let me see the date. It was March 4th that confirms these things are still going. Invictus, Hexa is clearly still going, and Jade and a couple of other mobile things. They have committed so far. The only thing I feel like I have not seen is Infinity, their hub world.
Which I must have going. I think I missed this. Apparently they have internally rebranded that to the Animus hub.
Oh boy.
So it's not Infinity anymore.
Is that still happening though?
Who can say at this point? God, it's been so long since they talked about that first.
So, okay, back to the main story here. So Hexa, Clint Hawking had left. There was a shakeup in kind of management there, but now we've lost the game director as well, leaving. And Richer, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong again, Richer. I'm trying to give it a little bit of a French.
I think Richer is probably how I would pronounce it.
Yeah, Richer.
I believe that.
Previous game director of Batman Arkham Origins, and worked on Valhalla. And then previously Rainbow Six. So, like, been around for a while. This game seems to be
in trouble.
I don't really want to say trouble, but, it's never great when you have,
when your creative
kind of
leads
high level
are just departing at this stage of the promotional cycle, which is to say it has been announced and nothing has been shown. That doesn't feel great to me.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously a lot of turmoil at Ubisoft in general, so maybe this is to be expected, but yeah, it is at least a little eye-opening.
It's worrisome.
So again, Hexa is the one that is supposed to be a little darker. They really haven't showed much of it. It's like, they keep showing the Assassin's Creed logo in like the sticks tied together.
It's Central Europe, and it is the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah, it's kind of more like Middle Ages witchcraft type stuff, which sounds like an awesome setting for that.
Yeah, it could be super fun.
But also, are you just making a Witcher game at that point?
Probably, kind of, maybe.
Is this them like finally just saying, actually, we're making instead of just taking Witcher 3 stuff, just like we're gonna make one?
I mean, will they actually do supernatural stuff in it, like for realsy, or will it just be animus weirdness?
Well, I mean, it'll probably be like it was in Odyssey, where they just explain away the fact that there's a Minotaur by saying, well. What if the fucking Isu put it there? I don't know. What if it was a hologram they made? Fuck it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I forgot. I mean, they've kind of gotten away from some of that. What were they called? The originators, the
precursors.
The precursors. I don't know. Like I said, Vantage is the kind of studio now that oversees it with some ex-Black Flag. It's also the one that has the partially owned Tencent investments in it. Like you said, Brad, I don't know if this is just a larger, maybe turmoil sounds like a really strong word for something we don't know that much about, but development hiccups because of what's happening over there and the changeover and people kind of moving around. Who knows? They have a big slate of Assassin's Creed stuff they still want to deliver on, and they're overseeing a lot of Assassin's Creed games now.
Yeah, I think the game will probably be fine, but I hope it's fine because it sounds cool. But yeah, I don't know
if it comes together. I mean, again, there's a lot of things we don't know about where Ubisoft will be in a year or two.
And just to kind of go back to the main story here with Benoit Richer is leaving Ubisoft. Yeah. Is not moving on to another project. He's going out to start his own indie studio. So it's not like being reassigned or moving into a different role, leaving the project and leaving the company.
Right.
So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know if they should keep the name Hexa.
Yeah, I think it's still technically like codename.
It's a codename.
Codename Hexa, so that might not be the final title.
What was Shadows was Red, right? That was I think codename Red.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I just need better code names, maybe. Well, we'll see what happens. That's Ubisoft. We don't have it written down here for a news story, but we were talking about it during the break that Capcom, so I'll just mention this quickly. Capcom seems like their minigame thing is like it's coming out soon
for Resident Evil.
For Resident Evil Requiem,
yes.
Whatever. Not the big story DLC. They're like minigame thing. They basically got out there and were like, hey, if you haven't finished Resident Evil Requiem yet, you should probably do that pretty soon. Because this next thing is coming out, whatever this add-on is. I like Requiem, so I'm kind of curious to see what that is.
I don't know why they keep using the name. It's got to just be Mercenaries, right?
I guess.
Like they keep using the phrase like mini game DLC.
Mini game DLC. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see that. I guess it's Golden Week in Japan.
I believe so. I believe the recommendation was you could use that time off to finish the game.
Yeah.
So you can play this DLC. It really, from the descriptions, really sounds like a combat-focused thing. It's got to be something like Mercenaries.
I got a question for you guys and for our audience. Is Golden Week actually like do businesses close for the week, or a lot of businesses?
Not
or is
sure.
Like school off for
I don't know
week?
a lot about it.
Okay. Like
I've only heard it described a couple of times in my life, so I don't actually know much about what it entails.
Okay. I want a thing where like most things shut down for a week. I mean, China has theirs. I feel like Japan may have Golden Week. You know, it's cliche. Europe has.
You're not thinking about
August.
the productivity, Vinny. If we shut down for that long, productivity goes down.
4 days of the week are officially designated as public holidays.
Okay, that means most people are probably working actually, and just banks are closed.
With workers often opting to take the full week off.
Okay. If you're in Japan, you want to message me or send an email or are familiar with it. I'm curious what the reality is of that. It's like, no, most people have to go to work and only certain people get the week off or something like that. Or
maybe it is that good. I don't know.
Or maybe it is. Or maybe it's like everybody uses their vacation time because that's when everybody's out of school. Like kids are out of school and everybody like takes their vacation time, but it's not like businesses just shut down. All right. Speaking of emails, wow, what a transition.
You did it.
A master of the craft.
Every time.
We have an email address, podcast@nextlander.com, podcast@nextlander.com. I'll say .com. I think my most familiarity with Golden Week is from the Persona games.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Those are portrayed, at least in a couple of them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's is that depressing or cool?
No.
I don't know.
I think that's a perfectly viable way to learn about certain things.
Podcast@nextlander.com. Brad Shoemaker. Got an email or two here.
This is going to be an all Travis and Fargo roundup.
Oh, boy.
Travis.
Every week, Travis and Fargo, I think I may have mentioned before, dutifully sends in 5 questions every week.
Okay.
So I have gone through and selected some of his recent ones.
So it's a mix and match
We'll
of the emails.
See how many of these we get through. What video game developer has the best mouthfeel, the most pleasant name to say out loud?
Video game developer.
Uh-huh.
The name of the developer.
Okay. Are we counting publishers or just
anything?
developers? Okay.
I've always liked Double Fine. I always think that's a very fun and easy,
good.
bouncy one to say.
I also love where that came from.
What is it?
Which is that San Francisco has Double Fine traffic zones.
Oh,
scattered around like
fines
this,
are doubled?
like parking. Like if you park here, it's a double fine zone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's how Tim Schafer tells the story. Is that he just saw that on a sign and liked the sound of it.
I mean, that is basically how every band gets its name, is some random thing you see on a sign somewhere. So makes sense.
I think I always thought it was like double plus good, like 1984.
Well, it sounds like
I think
that.
I think it's meant to be taken probably like that as well. I mean, not in a double speak
No.
totalitarian sense, but in a
Thunderful is like a pretty.
right.
I kind of like
Also
Thunderful, just like to say.
I mean, I think I said it recently. Ultra, the spin-off Konami imprint from the 80s, so they could flood the market with more games on the NES. I think Ultra is a pretty amazing name for something. Double Fine is one of these. I've always respected companies that don't have a like games or studios or some kind of, you know what I mean, or productions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like developers that just have a noun,
Mm-hmm.
like Bungie or Valve, or Blizzard or Double Fine.
Yeah,
I like the audacity of not having anything else after the thing.
Agreed.
I thought of another one.
Okay.
Chucklefish.
Pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Sure.
I like Drinkbox. Also had a good name.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Also, did you know there's a Wikipedia page that is just entitled List of Video Game Developers?
Yes.
I did.
And I think
it's very long.
And I think it's all of them.
I was looking at it, and then I saw Coca-Cola as one that made a game called Pepsi Invaders, which I then...
Dimps?
Dimps,
Anybody?
sure. How about bad ones? I think Apogee is not a great one.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all right.
Like just
okay.
mouthfeel like Apogee.
Apogee.
Just
It's no
Apogee.
Creative Business Unit 3.
it certainly is not.
Apogee, incredibly important to the history of shareware and PC games.
True.
I'm not nothing.
This
about
is not about
no,
legacy.
No.
This is pure mouthfeel.
Signosis again.
Mhm.
Not one that I would necessarily say rolls off the tongue. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I like Sierra Online.
Sure.
Like not later when it was just Sierra or whatever they changed it to, but the online somehow makes it sound cool.
Does that break your rule though of studios?
No, because
or,
nobody else uses that.
Okay.
Not in their
there's-
studio name, no.
There's I can't think of anybody else that appended online to their name.
This isn't really about mouthfeel, but it is kind of about audacity. If you take a step back and like eliminate history and erase everything you know, Rockstar Games is just kind of audacious.
It is.
To be like,
Also, we're like not that creative.
no, we'll just
Not
be
really.
like, yeah, man, we kill it. It's great. Mouthfeel, Spectrum Holobytes.
There you go.
Yes, it's a great
Llama
one.
Soft.
Yeah.
There's
Man,
a lot of good
there are
ones.
a lot of ones.
I've thought many times it would be very hard to name your company if you were going to be a developer.
You know what I like saying? Tecmo.
Sure.
Tecmo.
Sure,
It's just easy.
it's got to be short for
Tecmo.
something, right?
Capcom. Capsule Command.
Man, it was weird following the Artemis
And then
mission
saying
stuff.
Capsule Command.
Well, I mean, there's like in Mission Control, there's just a giant Capcom banner because like they use the term Capcom all the time in those missions.
That's very good. All right. Let's go to the next. Travis.
Do you pronounce
else
it
you got?
mana or mana?
Depends
I
what it is.
I enjoyed
Depends what it
that
is.
there's no pronunciation guide in this email. He just wrote the same exact word twice and
Did he italicize one?
trusted that we would get it.
Yeah.
It's my stance is it's probably mana, but I'm always going to say mana, and that's just the end of it.
If I am thinking about what I'm saying or I'm trying to be serious, I will say mana. If it just is something that blurts out of my brain or I'm being in any way flip, mana.
I think for me it's mana if it's the gauge from which you use your magic, and it's mana if it's something you eat to like get magic back or something like that, right? Like if it's like the mana from heaven, but if it's it's mana if it's your magic gauge.
All right.
If you say so.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's it. That's
All
it.
What video game opinion have you kept to yourself until now to avoid being labeled a fake gamer? Mine is the keyboard.
Fake gamer.
Mine is the keyboard and mouse is for work only, never video games. It sucks.
Okay. I mean, I don't agree with you, but I see how you get there.
Okay. All right. This is like hot takes.
I mean,
Sure, or
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
What's going to ruin your gamer cred because you think this?
Like I tend to play almost everything casually on consoles and not PC, which is like pretty atypical of most people I know these days.
You saying you trend more towards the console?
Yeah.
Your preferred gaming situation?
Yeah. I mean, obviously plenty of people who were still console first, but
Yeah.
most people I know default to PC for everything now.
I invert my look. Don't tell anyone. They'll take away my gamer card.
I think beating games is overrated.
Whoa.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
I think a lot of people would be behind you on that these days.
Wow.
It's not that I don't think anyone should beat games. If you are enjoying it, by all means. But I think sometimes we put a little too much pride on I beat that without much consideration for could you have been spending your time better elsewhere?
It sounds like this really rings as listen. I'm not going to say your opinion is your opinion, but this really sounds like somebody who worked through the review cycle for many
sure.
years of having to beat this game before you can write a review.
This absolutely is the product of having covered games for over 25 years,
Yeah.
but like you can really get a very good sense of most games long before you finish them.
Yeah. Yes.
And to be clear, I still think reviewers should be finishing games, generally speaking, if they can be finished before you write a published review. But I think for the average person, the siren call of "gotta beat that" is something that maybe you should not listen to all the time.
Or finish it if you're enjoying it and want to see how
that's
it.
What I mean.
Finish it if you want to see how it concludes.
If you are having a good time, that is not me trying to yuck your yum. This is just about the general culture of, well, did you beat it? And sometimes you can just fire back, I didn't have to. I knew what that was before I beat it, and I'm good.
Wow.
That's Wolpaw's Law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. All my opinions are perfect.
All right, great. Uncancelable Vinny.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. It's yeah.
All right.
Another email.
Or question.
What are the national news stories or celebrity scandals from when you were a kid that you weirdly still remember?
Oh, geez.
Ones I wasn't involved
a lot. Wait, yeah, right. Don't incriminate yourself. A ton. Like national news stories and scandals?
Like ones that like maybe you linger on more than like the average person would. Like OJ probably doesn't count because everyone of our generation remembers that. But
I don't know why when I read this, I was just like, all right, where's my mind going to go here? And for some reason, the two that came to mind were the Gary Hart monkey business one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're
which
right.
is like really dating me. And the Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan situation.
Sure.
Like those are just the two that sprang to mind for whatever reason. Although there's certainly plenty to pick from.
The Buttafuoco's. Remember that one?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, like there's the perennial favorites, like, razor blades and apples, and they're doping the medicine jars, trying to kill your kids.
Satanic Panic, and yes, Gary Gygax is the devil, and one that I occasionally think about still. Mostly in relation to how we got here broadly.
Okay.
Was the fervor around David Duke running for president.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that was a thing.
And it was like there was a lot of heated debate around it.
Yeah.
And I remember that was I was just old enough to kind of have a sense of who that guy was and why he was a fucking nightmare of a person, and seeing the media be like, yeah, maybe a Klan guy shouldn't run for president.
He's changed, Alex. He's
sure does kind of put some things in context now.
What about? Okay, I got one that's not necessarily a political one, but it was a national scandal that would probably play differently today. Milli Vanilli.
Oh yeah, lip syncing. God, what a novel thing to be mad about.
What a weirdly career-ending thing that probably nobody would care about.
I don't think that was weird at all.
You don't think it was weird?
They had a Grammy taken away.
I know.
They should have had the Grammy taken away. That I do kind of agree with. But
okay? First of all, since I was young and I was a kid, this is maybe the heart of this question. What were the details of that? Because I only knew it through the kid lens of I
got this because I've seen the behind the music.
Okay.
So I mean, the basic gist is they had some songs. They had these guys. The guys were not really songwriters or singers, but they had a look and they had a vibe.
Milli and Vanilli.
So the song was the work of a producer, I believe. And then these other singers were just studio musicians they brought in to do the recording.
Oh, so wait, they never
sang.
They were not those. Oh, okay. I think I always thought that they got in trouble for lip syncing in a live performance.
No, they weren't on the album either.
No. They did not sing the song under any circumstances. It was other unseen vocalists whose vocals they were lip syncing to.
They denied it.
They denied it because the whole thing was kind of a sham. And my understanding was they were trying to teach them how to sing the songs down the road so they wouldn't have to do this forever. But at the time, they had this song they thought was going to be a hit. It was. They put out the album. It was a hit. And they were like, well, we just got to roll with this.
Oh, wow. And then so they just basically never performed that song.
I don't think they ever sung it live. No.
Oh wait, I thought they did, and I thought they just lip synced it live.
No, I don't think they ever sang it.
No, I don't mean they sang it themselves, but they did quote unquote perform the song live, right?
But it was lip syncing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
They did appear live.
Yes.
On stage doing
well, that's when they got
the
caught.
song. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay, yes. That's what my misunderstanding was. I thought that was the entire controversy, was that it was their own vocals they were lip syncing to.
They couldn't sing, as far as I recall.
So my understanding was that they initially tried to front as, they just weren't singing live because of, this, that, or whatever.
Yes, that's the part I remember.
So back then, it was kind of still frowned upon to do a live performance purely lip synced. Like, that became much more the norm, especially in the pop world.
I think it's
in the last 20 years.
Like, it's still side-eyed from what I see. Like, it might be more acceptable, but
it's more acceptable when you're not doing a lot of dance on stage, or you are doing a lot of dance. Like, I feel like when you have serious, tight choreography, people are more forgiving. People still point it out, and they still say, I'd rather they were singing live. But I think it's not as frowned upon as it used to be back then.
I mean, because I watched some of those performances, and like, man, especially like K-pop or J-pop performances, where I'm like, man, you're singing. How are you?
Yeah.
You are an athlete.
But ostensibly, all these people are still singing on the album, which was the big sticking point with Milli Vanilli.
Okay, all right. Well, then that's probably mine then, because now I have learned a lot more about it. It's what? Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to one that you mentioned, the Tanya Harding.
Mm-hmm.
What did we come back around on? Like, Tanya, like, was like not the villain. And like,
I don't know about that.
That's news to me.
Was there like a reappraise? Like, what is it, I, Tanya? Or
well,
like
there was the movie and all that. Like, here's the thing. I think what people have come around to is that she might not have been the only villain. Like, obviously, there were the guys that were involved, and she did end up bearing the brunt of the public-facing, fiasco there. But at the same time, she was involved, and the reality is, while she did have a pretty rough upbringing, she still sabotaged another woman's career to further her own.
And again, I was younger. I haven't gone back. I haven't watched any of the movies. I really kind of blocked it out of my mind. But she hired somebody to hit Nancy Kerrigan in the knee.
Her boyfriend did. I think it did the actual, like, got
boyfriend?
the other guy involved.
With a pipe?
Yes. Jeff Gillooly. Why do I remember that? I just do.
Same.
I don't know. Okay, here's another one that you guys might remember. We could probably spend the whole day doing this. We shouldn't, but do you guys remember, was it Geraldo opening the safe?
Only in the Vegas terms. I remember the hubbub, but that's it.
Al Capone's vault being empty. I don't really remember it at the time. I wasn't super aware of it, but
I remember it. I remember it at the time, but I think I more remember the parodies of it later on. The spoofing on it.
It's pretty easy to dunk on, to be fair.
Yeah. Man, easy. I didn't realize Rob of Rob and Fab passed away not that long after that whole scandal.
It was some years, because both of them did appear on the Behind the Music in the 2000s, but I think he died in like the late 2000s, if I remember correctly.
No, 98.
Oh, 98.
Which was not that long after that whole thing happened. It was just a few years. Anyway, I don't know what he died of, but anyway. All right, one or two more quickly.
Sure, okay. Yeah.
Speaking of music stuff, do kids these days know about secret tracks? How a CD would sometimes have a secret song buried at the end or in a similarly sneaky spot?
I don't know how much that is still a going concern.
I don't know. Do
you guys remember a secret track?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Plenty.
I had a couple albums that had them. Which Nirvana album has one?
Nevermind, I think, has one.
Is it Nevermind? Definitely one album I have that had a secret track. I just left playing at one point and forgot was on, and then 10 minutes later,
Dookie has one too.
Random song came out of nowhere and scared the shit out of me.
So it would be like they would pad the last song so it didn't skip to the next.
It would depend, but in most cases, I remember it would just be the last track would be super long with a bunch of silence in the middle, and then the last song would start playing.
So that was how you would do it if you were normal. Not everyone was normal, but the I Was All By Myself song on Dookie, there's a secret track on my favorite Deftones album, Around the Fur, that is you wait 18 minutes of silence before it finally gets around to it. But so sometimes they would also do things where, like, I remember one local band added 38 tracks of 4 seconds of silence before getting to the final
and so just
hidden
like
track.
click over tracks.
The most obnoxious one, though, and I genuinely curse any band that ever did this, you could technically program a CD so that as soon as track 1 started, you would have to hit rewind, and it would rewind back on the disc to a track 0 that is hidden that you don't know is there.
Oh, so like all the CD players would start at track 1, but if you forced it to try and go back
to rewind
0
to where there should be no track, there is in fact a song.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the coolest one.
It's super annoying to fucking listen to. Let me tell you right now.
I have a CD that I ripped not long ago, which is like it is a band that a friend was in. It was not a large commercial thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They did this, but there are 99 tracks on that CD.
Okay,
basically. And like the secret track is right at the end of those 99 tracks.
Oh man.
So when I ripped that CD and there were like 100 files in the folder and I was like, what the fuck? And it's like,
were they silent?
Yes, it is a bajillion, like 2 seconds of silence tracks all broken out.
See, that's the one downside of CD technology, is that it let bands get too clever with that shit.
So, Alex, let me ask you this as somebody who curates music. I'm sure you have ripped a number of CDs. If you were doing that and you wanted an accurate portrayal of the CD, and Brad, I know you have a pretty accurate collection, like or look for accuracy. Would you want the silence in there?
Fuck
if you're like,
no,
absolutely not. I deleted when I ripped that album and saw all those empty tracks. I deleted all of them.
Yeah,
what if it's
should.
What if it's a padded track that is just like, okay, this track is 15 minutes, 3 are the song, it pads for 7, and then
I am literally willing to rip it as a WAV file, cut out the silence, and then break them out and FLAC them in separate tracks. Like, I don't need that shit in my life anymore. I'm not 15. I'm not listening to this in my fucking pickup truck. Okay.
I'm looking at it right now. In fact, there were 3. This is even worse. There were 3 actual tracks with music in them hidden throughout the 99.
Oh, that's infuriating.
Wow. Yeah.
So tracks 30, 66, and 99 were actual songs.
Fuck off.
Oh, wow.
In the middle, and I had to figure out which ones were which. So I kept the numbering on those, but I deleted all the empty ones.
Oh.
Not 30. Wait, you said 33, 66, and 99?
No,
or
30.
That doesn't make sense at all.
No.
That doesn't make sense.
They're trying to trick you. That's why.
When people rip stuff and like pass it along, which I've heard they do on the internet, do they keep the silences in there?
Usually, yes. They don't alter the tracks in any meaningful way if they can avoid it.
Oh, interesting. Seeing how that stuff translates is super weird.
Yeah. And it's very much a byproduct of a specific era of media technology. Like, it is a thing we all remember, but I can't imagine anyone under the age of 30 has any idea about this shit, because who's buying CDs anymore?
That one didn't come back yet, huh?
Not yet.
All right, one more, Brad?
Quickly here. One time at my kid's daycare, a child peed on a pile of Legos. Then the daycare provider scooped them up, put them in the dishwasher, and ran a cycle to clean them. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else are you going to do?
Soap and hot water? Yeah, that's about what I would want from a piece of plastic being washed.
I think that's totally legit. I think
I can understand the trepidation.
You're okay with your child playing with the pee Legos?
Nah, that's fine. You washed them.
Yeah,
but then
it's good.
I think at a certain point, you're starting to get into some like Jerry Seinfeld germaphobe territory of like, okay, just because something was once peed on doesn't mean you can never touch it again.
I mean, when somebody pees, their kid's going to pee their pants, you're just going to put it in the laundry machine. You're not going to like sanitize it and
nope, I'm putting that kid in the wash.
Right.
Only way to get him clean.
I mean, I assume, I don't know, I'm no materials expert, but I assume that it is fairly non-porous Lego material. So
as far as I know,
you just wash that right off. Yeah, it's not like
probably steam clean that and be just fine.
Yeah, no problem there. Honestly, and they just wiped them off and be like, you can go play with those. You don't even need to put it in dishwasher. It's like kind of more than I would have expected.
Just don't put them in your mouth. Just don't do that.
They're gonna put it in their mouth.
Ugh.
Just run it under some water. You'd be good. All right. Thank you for the email. That was Travis, right?
Yep, Travis and Fargo.
A Travis block. Thanks, everybody, for writing in, and thanks, Travis, for the emails. Appreciate it. That's going to do it for the show, and what a show it has been. What a journey. April's almost over. I've got a backlog of games now. trying to work through it, trying to keep up. I still need to go back and finish the what is it called? Replaced.
Yes, Replaced.
I'm sure it's not that long. Maybe I'll go finish it. We like we mentioned before, we had a stream on Monday. Oh, we did mention it before. We had mentioned the stream on Tuesday. All will fall. Abby will be back next week for more Resident Evil. On Monday, Will, Brad, and I went back in to play Species Unknown. Mm-hmm. That game's awesome. Yep. I just like playing that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early access. There were a couple moments in that thing that felt like, I don't think that's quite working the way it's supposed to. Like that time that the game just faded to black and then I respawned on the ship.
I think somebody said that something happened with your like the power or something with the respawn pod was weird. There was something, I don't know. I saw a comment in there, so I would have to go back and watch.
I didn't die though. I was just walking down the hall and all of a sudden I just was back on the ship without my items.
Species Unknown is the kind of
it's awesome. The game's generally awesome though, yeah.
And they added proximity chat to it, which again, I know streaming proximity chat's not always the greatest, but I think it does add something to the experience of that game.
Adds a lot to that game for sure.
So that was very cool.
Yeah.
You can check that out. The thing I think I need to keep in mind is when I'm switching that, there's probably sometimes I want to switch to catch like a thing that you're doing if I hear it on the prox chat, but there's probably delay in the game, and I wonder if it's skipping ahead or back in the conversation when I switch it. It's just temporal stuff, time is weird. You can go check that stream out on Monday. From Monday, that archive is up. And then Friday, we have a Patron's Choice. Brad, do we have a poll check-in that we can see?
I think it's up.
I think we're doing pirate stuff. No, it's not. It's not over yet.
Okay.
As of now, I think we're going to be doing pirate stuff.
Is that the Wind Rose?
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. I was thinking Masters of Albion was going to take it.
People don't want to check in on the latest Peter Molyneux.
I think they know. I think they know maybe what is coming from Peter Molyneux.
We'll see.
How is that game doing?
The Masters of Albion?
Yeah.
I think it was like mostly positive last I looked.
Okay.
All right.
People seem to, mixed, but quite a few positive reviews.
So it looks like we may be hitting the high seas. Windrose is what? Is a cooperative
survival game.
PvE?
I don't know.
Not PvP.
It's pirate survival game is all I got from it. So I literally just said, oh, this is getting buzz. People seem to like it. It has pirates. Let's check it out.
All right. I'll have to go check out and see if there's a little wind up in there when we get my pirate self ready. So that's Friday. Come join us for that. We'll have a Never Been a Better podcast going up on Thursday. So check that out. Alex, we're nearing the end of our Coen Brothers movie month.
Indeed. We are recording our final one just about the time you were probably listening to this. Burn After Reading, and Raising Arizona is up on the Patreon right now.
Yep, and we'll have an announcement for what is coming up next, coming along with the
next episode.
Yeah. So check that out over on the Patreon. The Patreon is where you can support us if you're listening to this and you haven't gone over there. You should check it out. A bunch of stuff there. Mostly, though, I'll say it's what keeps the lights on here. It's what keeps us going. The Patreon is our number one source of a fan-supported revenue. So if you want to go support the most honest, independent people who read other people's news on a podcast, you can go there to the Patreon and support us. We can't do it without you over there. Been doing it. I realized you guys probably, Brad, you passed 25 years probably doing this?
Yeah, I think 99 was my first paycheck for writing something about a game, so.
Alex, are you 25 in?
2003 is when I would say my career really began. 2001 is when I first got a paycheck.
Okay, for doing this.
For freelance,
doing the game stuff, yeah. I'm not quite there. I still got some time in the young end. I think I only have 20 years, about 21, 20 years in.
Goddamn baby.
Little baby. But it's been a long road, and we appreciate all the support. And if you want to keep the train a-rolling, patreon.com/Nextlander is where you can go find a tier that is right for you. Support us over there. We'll see what happens. We want to be here when Project Helix hits the scene, and we can talk about it and share that experience with you. Grow up alongside us and enjoy everything that the GameSpot Giant Bomb Nextlander Throughline has provided. A bunch of stuff there to find and discover on the Patreon. One of the things there you can dip into is the Mysterious Benefactors tier, where you can get your name read on this here show. And I'm going to read those names for you today, starting with The Good Vibes Will Continue Until Morale Improves, Alpha Rhythm, OpenAI, Delinda Est, David L., Kelly F., Brian Lucier, Skywarp, Jason Grimm, John Hubbard, Thordreen, C5C6 Crew, Evan Cook, Jerry Lee, Deirdre Crawlers, the Turbo Wildcard from Nextlander, Pugtato, hashtag Bunny for Work, Jed Rita, Statics, Maybe Today's the Day, It Happens. It happens.
Open to interpretation.
Brian Murphy, Randy Duax, Randy Alderson, Andrew Tiebkin, Alex Wu, It's Me JP, Edward Chick, Andrew Slosky, Steve Lynn, Matthew Herrig, David Campos, and Tyler Treese. Those are Mysterious Benefactors for this week. They get their names read out on this show and become a little less mysterious for all of us out there. But we love all the support, and we love everybody who has supported us. Once again, patreon.com/Nextlander. Thanks for taking the journey with us. Hope to be here with your support in the future. Alex Navarro, thanks for joining us this week and this month as we close out April.
Absolutely.
Brad Shoemaker, you are nearing the end of your neck brace journey. Would you say 2 more weeks?
2 more weeks.
Wow. So
Exciting.
May.
Very exciting.
Exciting month for you. And then you don't have, you're not scheduled to have a soft brace or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
It's neck freedom. That neck is freed.
Sounds like it's...
Oh, I can't wait to hear how your first night without that thing goes, whether it's joyful or you're like, honestly, now I need to sleep in this position.
It's just a part of me now.
For the rest of my life. I can only sleep with a yardstick running down my shirt. Thanks everybody for joining us again. We'll be back next week with another Nextlander podcast. See ya.